Yes, I, a special one from the CEOs, then coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Ba.
Spoon.
Skibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kuwa. Bese kuwa, kudileo. Kuwa, kudileo.
To the spoon to get
Yes,
your information.
Kuwa.
To the spoon to be
Yes,
part of our discussion.
Batileo.
Spoon, spoon television.
Yes, Batileo.
Spoon, spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEOs, then coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television.
That we, as and the end result, we will be the victor in this circumstance. So you need not to panic. Let me leave you now because a lot of noise also will get leave. But let me leave the message of you. In Liberia, we vote for president. We do not vote for vice president. We want to make that very clear. In Liberia, it is the president that can take the oath of the presidency. It is the president that can take the oath of the presidency. We want the world to go forth. And in my capacity of the secretary of this party, a true defense constitution of the country. We shall defend the constitution to the very bare core. We will do any means possible. We will do everything as we emerge that we, as John said to you, we have agreed. We accepted the result because our president has said it, but we also stated the pitfall and the fraud that were committed. And the reason we raised it because we want electoral reform. So we here will ensure that if you come to work and do the labyrinth business, you have our support. If you come and say you will intimidate us and you think you have monopoly over this country, as assured you will be resistant to the bare more code. Oh, the carry you want to carry. As long as we have breath in us, we will continue to do what is just with no spirit of fear.
So we'd like to say welcome to
Liberia. Welcome to the media, sir. Welcome to the media. Well, you just responded to a subpoena by criminal code 8. How did the process go?
Well, it went through the calm.
What do you mean by calm?
I'm a respecter of the law, even though I didn't know that I was subpoenaed. And we were informed that the subpoena was taken to my office by around 5 p.m. As you know, government is transition, so I do not frequent to the office like before. We're trying to cut down our activities. So I was at my party headquarters at Toronto work. And I was informed that the defense counsel had subpoenaed me to be here. As you can be aware, the first time the subpoena and the court did not grant it, I think they said they went to the Supreme Court, they went to the justice in Chambers. I think she saw reasons that I should be subpoenaed. So in accordance with respecting the court, without delay, I just made my way here to answer to the court subpoena.
What exactly did the court ask you? What did you do?
Well, basically, I was on the subpoena. I was asked about my relationship between one Mohammed Keita and Vali Teller. Mohammed Keita is a person I do not know. I don't recall who is he. But I was not even asked about Mohammed Keita. It was about my relationship with Vali Teller, which of course is administrative. Vali worked in the employ of the Moravian city government. And about my interaction with the police, it was clear that I voluntarily went to the police, presented my statement, and I received a police clearance. So I was being interrogated. That was my interaction with the court today.
Yeah, one question that was very clear. I don't know how you let me be clear. Two numbers were presented. One was official, like according to you, or two are official. But according to the investigation in there, once then like it's not clear, it's not being used, but you claim that it is. So what was the concrete information you gave to the court at the release of the issue?
So basically, when you fill in a form, place your number. So after that, I wrote the official communication that I sent to the public, and in that communication, I asked my lawyer to place my number in it, and I also called for the second company. Then I also in open court make that public again, and the defense counsel adhered to that. So they also subpoenaed that number. So it was not anything different.
But it said the last number is not in use from the GSM company.
I don't want you going back and forth.
Yeah, that's a concern.
You have two numbers, the other number is available. You also see the number. In fact, the police even requested my call law. Decision was taken on my official number. My call law is available. It's passed. You have to put out that so you can request for it. So anything, like I said, as a former national youth and student activist, anything that is required, I would take away my privileges and my title. Anything that's required to get to the depth of this case, because I know it is a loss of life. It's something that I'm very passionate about. It's a young lady. No one deserves to lose their life in the circumstances in which the young lady lost her life. So this is what you see the way I came here. I came in a way that no one would even expect me to come. I came here, even use motorbike to come here so that I could be here on time.
What legs?
So the code, I'm available, like I said, anything that I can do in my capacity and as in my personality, and ensuring that whosoever, the perpetrator, whosoever that is associated with the gruesome murder of the young lady, that person will be brought to justice.
But before you go, does it mean that the two no more, you still maintain me as your active number?
Well, I don't know what you try to get out of your question.
Okay.
What needed to be established, represented. And so the rest, the love with you, you can decide where you well. I still remain very open. I still remain very available in any means possible to ensure that the honorable court can get to the end of this case.
I see you very calm. Wasn't the process intimidating for you?
No, it's not. The name coaching, no matter get intimidated. I've gone through the worst things in this world that anybody can imagine. You know, you gotta pay your courage. And normally I say my offer, nothing can be more traumatizing than losing my parents. I lost my parents at a very young age. And nothing can surprise me on this earth. Anything that comes before me is something I feel very, and I'm a very religious person who believes in God. I believe that there's no condition and no situation that God puts you in before a solution. So I'm a strong-worded faith person. But those who doesn't know me, they know me on the periphery. And so I'm built for difficult moments and difficult circumstances. And I think God uses me as an instrument so that things can happen for the general good of people and the country around. So I'm not intimidated. I cannot get intimidated. I have no sense of intimidation in my commercial. And I'm very, very relaxed. When you come here, it's not about being tough. We're talking about a life that got lost by a person who potential was very on top. And so it's not something that come anytime I think every Monday, it craves my heart, it pierces my soul. And all I ask God for is that the perpetrator should not find peace. The perpetrator, no matter how long this perpetrator may deceive him or herself, justice will prevail.
Thank you.
Recently, after he left after a hearing,
In this country,
involving the death of
18 years of service hard work. I can go to the U.S. Embassy. They can give me multiple entry visa. If I want to go to America every month, I'll go to America every month. They be claiming the embassy denied me visa. The embassy, this is my proof. The embassy issued me a visa. I'm not saying it, I'm demonstrating it. I'm demonstrating it. Ask them whether they are so-called candidate can even walk to that embassy. Why will you bother yourself with somebody who has been condemned by the whole world? Once America condemns you, the whole world condemns you. Once you are condemned by America, the whole world has condemned you. We cannot waste our time with such an individual. We'll talk more. We'll talk more. We'll not say all today. So I just want to say thank you. King, thank you for this opportunity. We are here to work with you people.
So one of them, but the guy from the Sudan Unification Party, the attack.
Last Friday, or last week on Friday, December 8th, and yesterday on December 11th, the United States government sanctioned several officials using the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act and authorities under Section 7031C for visa restrictions. Calling out corruption and human rights abuse is a Biden administration foreign policy priority that is advanced globally. In these most recent cases, the designations are the result of the officials' individual actions and not those of a political party or the country itself. For those individuals who have been sanctioned by the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Acts Control under Global Magnitsky, they and their families will no longer be able to utilize the U.S. banking system, and they and their families will have a lifetime ban on visiting the United States. You can read more about these individual cases on the U.S. Treasury OFAC website. For those sanctioned by the U.S. Department of State under Section 7031C, they and their families will have a lifelong ban from entering the United States. 7031C provides that in cases where the Secretary of State has credible information that foreign officials have been involved in significant corruption or a gross violation of human rights, those individuals and immediate family members are ineligible for entry into the United States. Instead of focusing on these individual cases, as the information is now public and published online, I want to speak to you about corruption and its impact on your life and what you can do about it. I hear from my own employees and those Liberians I have met during my time here who tell me that their salary supports not only themselves and their children, but also their extended family members who are unemployed. They grumble about paying taxes. They know it's a necessity, but ask, where is the money going? Corruption doesn't only affect your life today, but threatens your family's future.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEOs, then coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information.
Okay. Tune to Spoon to get your information. Tune to Spoon to get to know what's happening in Liberia, what's happening in the ministries, the agencies. I'd like to say welcome to another edition of the program. This is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. We are here again live on Spoon 107.5 FM. We're live on Fabric 101.1 FM. We are live on Super 95.5 FM as well. The late night show is where we come with diverse views, discussing the trending national issues, the day-to-day happenings in the country. Here we agree, we disagree, but we all have, we hold hard in our hearts the interest of our country, and we all want to see Liberia succeed. And regardless the diversity of views here, yes, every single person will tell you that they want the best for this country. Again, welcome to the program. My name is Nelson Collier. Let me say thanks to the folks who are relaying this program on other radio stations across the country. Gibi FM 90.9 in Kakata, Gibi County, and the host of other radio stations. We are live on Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We're also live online on Facebook. We are there on Spoon TV, on Fabric TV, and on Super TV. On YouTube, we are there at Spoon Talk Live. So welcome to the show again. Let me go across and bring in the folks. I see Francis Jabate is already here with us. Uh, and we encourage you to share the program as you come on, share the show. Let's have a fascinating conversation here again tonight. Let me bring in Francis, as the rest of the folks will be joining us
Stop,
very soon.
man.
Francis, it's good to have you on.
Good to be here, brother. Good to be here.
Yeah,
How you doing, man? How's the end?
yeah, I'm doing good, and I see the Liberian flag so strong in the
Always.
background, and
Always. Always.
you are coming on with the red, white, and blue jersey.
That's it, man.
So it's Liberia everywhere. I mean,
Everywhere, man. We bleed like brother. We bleed like
wow,
brother. That why when
wow,
we come on here, man, you know, when we speak passionately about the way about the things that's going on, it's not just because we would like to hear ourselves talk, but because we think about when we were even growing up in Liberia. Sometimes
yeah,
I get frustrated on myself. I say, okay, for instance, when you were before you left Liberia, you were thinking before you had the outside experience, you were probably
mhm,
thinking the same way. Because I was beginning when I came here, just fresh out of high school. You know,
okay,
not too long out of high school. So, we're thinking the same way. So sometimes I just tend to give it a pass. But with the age of this news, age of social media, sometimes I
mm,
tend to say there's no excuse too because the world has come together. Social media has brought the whole world together. That you can be in Liberia and know what's going on in America or what's going on in Brazil and things like that. Information is just there, available,
yeah,
And while I was in Liberia, I couldn't afford cell phone. I couldn't
mm,
afford cell phone because that's when I only had Lone Star cell. When there's only one company, everything expensive. I couldn't afford cell phone. I didn't have cell phone. When you have cell phone, even if you're not working, you're people in Liberia
yeah.
at that time. But now it's everywhere.
Listen. Forget even if this if the phone not get battery inside the fact that it looks like a cell
Ah,
phone. You know that some kind of thing that get button on it that you can press and it has that resemblance of a
and you
cell
can go
phone.
in a setting and play some kind of rental and pretend that somebody calling you. You are people. I didn't even
And,
have that one.
and you're right, for instance, and not to mention a cell phone that takes chip, the memory chip, and maybe plays music, and
Yep.
then later the ones that had the camera, and imagine those phones back then that were the hot cake, and
Yeah,
if
Nokia
it
80, I
didn't
know
have
8710 or something. Nokia was a beat down phone in Liberia
yeah
in the
Nokia
early 2000s.
Nokia 1110, Nokia 20,
Mm-hmm.
I think 2400 or whatever. There was another one that came 1200,
Yeah,
Nokia 1200,
Nokia. That phone was
and
strong.
then the Bonanza, and all those kind of stuff, but then later when we thought things was improved, now we saw the VTD, and there was another one, it had camera though,
Right, 3310. All right,
yeah,
Love Zia. That's the
3310,
3310 Nokia.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
all the
was
phones.
the
I mean,
phone there.
they were the best phones, man. When the man get 3310, if you get that man, change say the
People.
man will hold the phone up in your hand like they be walking, so people.
I, you see, a guess out 3310, don't even go talk to herself because you're not on her level.
Panasonic, somebody write in the comment section, Igwe Chief, he said Panasonic. Yeah,
Yep.
Panasonic, Nokia. But when there was this phone that had this flip, you flip it over and flip it. Yeah, what's the name? Was it VTV? No, there was, I think it was a VTV. It had that camera on it. Oh, it was the best phone. But the phones back then, even the ones that had the cameras, those cameras that were the best cameras. When you have your phone, you say, "Oh, my phone, I get camera phone." When you compare the cameras of yesterday to the cameras of today, you say, "But what were we doing?
You look at the
Is
picture.
this what you call camera?"
the resolution, everything was just so bad.
Yeah, that's the beauty of
yeah,
technology, the advancement, how far we have come
certainly.
with technology, you know. So
Mobile,
it makes
welcome. Yeah, go ahead, Francis.
no. That's
Mhm.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's the
listen.
beauty of
What's up, bro?
technology, you know.
Mhm.
It improve things, it improve communication, it bring the world together. So
Certainly.
information is readily available. So when I see some of the way our people be talking and stuff like that, the way they think about situation in the country,
Mhm.
especially like the election or political parties, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, if this person not good, it affects your party, affect me. If my person can, the person is good, but you didn't vote for that person, you still enjoy it because what when that person do something, did I take you a list of everybody that voted for them? They say only you will benefit. No, if that person bring investors to the country, even if the opposition have people that are qualified, they will even benefit more because they prepare themselves. So what
Yeah.
Liberians need to do is prepare themselves for the workforce. You know, prepare yourself to work with your hands. Construction, building, electrical engineering, plumbing, and all that stuff. Pastry making, tailoring. You know, prepare yourself for so that when God help us, it doesn't matter if it's JMB or maybe 2029 another president come and bring good development to the country, investors come. You won't suffer. You won't have to be begging people because you are prepared. It doesn't matter if you voted for that person or not. You fit right into the society.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And I think this is just part of the what's on your mind and the side conversations before moving to the actual show. But it's so important because like what you just said, Francis. You know, a lot of time people think, and the mistakes that most of the young people continue to make is that when you support a particular political party, let's take for example, a lot of people were supporters of the Unity Party, they just in the election, and it was, oh, we want change, we're about to enjoy, the country is about to get better. But how do you fit in? That's the next thing. Because if this is going to be about transformation, this is going to be about merit and all of those things, then the next stage is after the election, after the Munyan, the Zegwe, the JMB want to talk to all, or the Bakugwe want to talk to all. After that phase, the next phase is and depending on who comes into the picture, what their priorities are, the next phase then becomes, what do you have? What can you bring to the table? How
Yeah.
competent or qualified are you? What do you know? And how
One
do
thing,
you
right,
fit
Nelson?
in this new Liberia you want?
Nelson, quickly, one thing, right? This guy, Alvin Nado, he's the only neurosurgeon in Liberia now, right?
Hmm. That's
Alvin
right.
Do, he
Yeah.
graduated from SDA. I'm not sure if he's the only neurosurgeon, but he's a neurosurgeon in Liberia.
Okay.
Let's just say that whatever he does, like the hospital, it does election or something. Even if he voted for George Weah, you see, Pat Barker would say, "I'm taking him from that place," or when there's a health issue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You think Pat Barker will bring somebody else when he's the most competent person in that field of study in Liberia? No, it doesn't matter who's president. Everybody want him in that position because he's the most qualified person in Liberia at this moment to provide that service to the Liberian people. So that's why everybody in Liberia, even if you're a farmer, be the best farmer you can be. If you plant
Yeah.
cassava, be the best way, figure out how to produce more cassava and get it to market quickly. So it doesn't matter who's in office, you will be the one the top of the top when it comes to cassava production and services in Liberia. But you didn't have to become a partner wing. So moving, no. If you're the best engineer or you work at public work, they're not gonna say, oh, he didn't vote for me, so I will take him for that post. Why is that person not competent? But you're the most competent person. They will put you there. That's what people fail to realize. They want to do this the politics thing. So they say, oh, that my people. That was see what they were talking today. The only people that are ready to come, the transitional team. I know the last time we talk about it, but if they think they're just going to come for a job, they got it wrong. If you're not qualified, you shouldn't be put into the government. Because our people are tired. I'm tired of incompetent people just being in office because they made a louder noise behind the candidate that won. No, Papoga should not do that stuff.
But
Yeah.
wait, let me just come in 1 minute, right? 1 second.
Mhm.
Look, all the people that are on our transition team, right? They all are qualified. Like I said, 95% that we know on our team, they are qualified. More especially that the hair is not a branch like, because I think what I understand is that each and everyone will have their own branch. They will be the head. They will be the coordinator of those branches, so that they will be able to, like, they will
Is
make
that is
reports
that
to
is
them.
there anything like TV on in the background, mobile or
No,
Francis? Did you
No.
check that?
let me see. No TV
Okay,
on
now
the
my TV are low. You good?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the
So
basement. So
yeah, as I was saying, right?
Yeah.
So you will find out that although Zuda had the JMB appointed, all these people, they are qualified. That talk so. All the people are qualified. The only thing you would say, maybe you would only say you might try to probably investigate them further to see if they have no tainted character or record when it comes to governance, more especially when it comes to corruption free. So based, for my understanding, I think that would be better for us to base the argument on that basis instead of us to say they are not competent based on like all these people over there,
No.
they are well educated, they understand the merit of what they're doing. But I think we just have to gain in times, let them compose and bring out their team forward.
Yeah. No. It wasn't basically about the transitional team either. We were just chit chatting, and then Francis came in with the whole idea of the new Liberia, and how the young people have to prepare themselves regardless of the support
Of
for
course.
whichever political party. If you're not prepared, if you don't if you fail um acquire the requisite skills and everything that's required, it becomes difficult for you to fit
Yeah,
in regardless
yeah.
of the
Next,
support.
our problem
But
in Liberia, right? I'm cutting you.
let
You're
me
getting
bring
to
in
1 minute.
Anthony. Anthony,
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
our problem in
Since since
Liberia.
since yeah, you were coming more, but since Anthony got some real whipping following the election, the man
Zero point zero
escaped
zero
the show.
percent.
Yeah, that perfect key math. Okay,
But
yeah, but go ahead, Moba.
Yeah. As
we'll
I was
come. We'll
saying,
come
right?
to you, Anthony. Hmm.
Yeah. Next thing, when you look at our education sector in Liberia, what we
Hmm.
call everybody like we call it Jaw or trade. Everybody know
Yeah,
everything. When you go, so they there. They all want it there. But I believe that when you specialize in something,
yeah,
it's better for you to go in that field to deliver the best. Instead of you to be a mechanic, then you say you want to be a security man.
yeah.
I found it difficult like that's some of the reason our country going backward, because you are not going to take somebody who do mechanic or maybe
Who is an auto mechanic, and
engineer.
then
You take that and you say they
put them in
will
the
go be
medical
a
position.
financial aspect.
Yeah,
You will get nothing. So I think that's where our problem coming from. I
yeah.
think so,
You're
but I
right.
think under this government, I think JMB, got to come up with a better thing that if you are a marketeer, you put in the market to be collecting $500, then you understand where to be. You understand your ground. You understand all the people that in that market. You know how many money coming in as a tax in that market. And you
Thank you.
understand? Yeah,
You're right. You're
we
right,
can
Moba.
go on and on. I can name
Yeah.
a lot, but that's I think yeah, go on, Nelson.
Um. Um. So let's hear from you, Anthony. What's on your mind quickly, so we move into our discussion now.
Well, instead of me saying what's on my mind, let me just chime into the discussion that I met on. So
Yeah. Okay.
part of the problem that we have in Liberia, the transitional team may put their team together, but the crux of the matter becomes when the people go to the Liberian Senate for confirmation hearing.
Okay.
There where folks like us will want to lean on our lawmakers, especially our senators, to vet these candidates properly. Because in many countries, And I will use the United States for example. At least 65 to 70% of lawmakers in America are lawyers. They are lawyers. Depending on which form of law they study is different. It depends. That besides the point. But many of them, then Senator Barack Obama was a lawyer, constitutional lawyer. Senator Joe Biden was a lawyer. Then Senator Hillary Clinton was a lawyer. I mean, the list goes on, right? But it is not a requirement, however, to become a lawyer. But the reason why many of them found that area or discipline very, important is that not anybody can just become a lawyer, right? In order to go to law school, you must have your first degree first, and minimum is bachelor degree before you can go to law school, right? And as a lawyer, you do a lot of writing, you do a lot of reading, you do a lot of analyzing, you do a lot of debating and all of that different things. So when it comes to deliberation on the floor, you know what to do. And then when they are staffers, another place again, how people make mistakes that because this guy campaigned for me, so my campaign team, most of my campaign member will be my staffer. No, staffers are experts.
You're right.
In other words,
you're right.
People with clear discipline. Do you have an economist among your staffers? Do you have the country that Liberia need to have somebody with a civil engineering background because we do a lot of concession deal, right? Do you have someone who understands healthcare? Do you have anybody with mentor or public health? Let's just say public health, epidemiologists. When there is an outbreak of infectious diseases and all that stuff. Do you have people like that in yes? Because each lawmaker have at least 9 staffers, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have these guys who are your staffers with expertise, right? Or you just hire or picking who really campaign for you vicarially and say, you know what, I got to give you some kind of job, right? It is different from. So when you go to these people, and I encourage many Liberians to watch the deliberation of the U.S. Senate or House of Representatives or the British Parliament, right? So that they can understand when these guys are discussing issue, they discuss issue not on top of the head. Their staff have already done the research, they have documentation, and when they come on the floor, they speak based on the facts and the research before them. I was shocked that someone like Nebuski Wapudike, right?
No. Let's get it right. Ndubuzi Wabudike.
No.
Ndubuzi.
No. Nubuski Wapudike.
No.
The end is silent. The end is silent, my man. I practice that many.
Anyway, that's your own pronunciation of the name.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You said you were shocked when what happened?
When the 53rd legislature confirmed him, right? The 53rd legislature confirmed him. That was with Vanish Sherman them, right?
Yeah.
They confirmed him. Prince Johnson and confirmed this guy, right? Thanks to Senator Darius Dillon and others who stood, and held him accountable. Thanks to Senator Dillon again for the folks like Zolizo, who were trying to make their way through the process. And we saw how Zolizo end up, being where they put him. We saw him stealing, petrol and all of the different things. So again, folks, your lawmakers is not just to do, that 3 cardinal function, make law, representation, and oversight. That's not only that. The crux of the matter is these cabinet positions. The autonomous agencies, these guys are gonna, sit in those positions. Are they qualified for the position? Do they possess the requisite knowledge? Do they merit that position? Right? So a guy want to go work to LTA, right? To be post and telecommunication director. You're gonna interview that guy and you have no idea about telecommunication. What question are you gonna ask that guy? Right? If the man talking about bandwidth, you don't know what a bandwidth is. Right? So I mean, these are our downfall. Most of the lawmakers, and I'm saying most, not all, but most of them today, the current one, not the new batch that come. The new batch that coming, at least some of them, coming with something. There's someone like Senator like Amara Kone. He's coming with something. This is the guy who graduated from Drexel University, went to MIT, right? Graduated from there. So he's coming with something, right? You can't. Many of the lawmakers today, for instance, I'll call his name, Senator Zoe Penner from Grand Juliet County. What does he bring to the table? How can you argue the issue on the floor?
You was that when you are campaign so soon?
Francis, I
I
know
mean-
that I know that you expressed interest in Grand Juliet County at some point. You wanted to run in the county. So you, by extension, you are a politician. That's part.
But
That's
I mean, what
part
does
here.
that guy bring
So-
to the table for 18
No,
plus
no.
years? He's been a
So
lawmaker for 18 plus years.
what I gather from what you're trying to do here, Anthony,
Oh my
is that
goodness.
you're trying to use the fact that you are here on this stage where the lawmaker doesn't have the opportunity to be now
To defend himself.
to throw some punches at him, and he's defenseless right now because he's not here.
Yo,
So
listen.
forget Zoe Brother Penno.
I just
Y'all
gave an
discuss
example,
it.
right?
That's
The man start running
I
campaign so soon.
can name another lawmaker right now.
okay.
I can name
No,
another
but I
lawmaker.
think the point you're pushing is very important, Francis, because
No, Anthony.
sorry, yeah, I keep saying Francis. Anthony, a lot of people look at this to just be about the lawmakers.
Yeah.
For example, regardless of how educated a lawmaker is, that person will not have expertise in everything that goes
In everything.
before the
That's the reason why they hire,
the Senate or at the legislature.
Yeah.
That's why they should look in their districts, look within their cycle, or look across and bring people on board who have the expertise. And you're right when you say it
Yeah,
shouldn't just be
staffers.
about the Zekwe, the Munya. For example, who is your chief of staff? Who is your chief of staff? Who are those that you and these are places where most times our problems come from, right? We go ahead and elect the lawmakers. The lawmakers look around and take some noisemakers. They go and employ them in their offices. Now, the fundamental problem of the legislature starts from right there.
Right there.
So an instrument goes before the legislature, and that this lawmaker John Brown, let's agree the man has a doctorate, he has a PhD. Let's agree the man is well educated, but he doesn't have an expertise everywhere. Something
Nope.
goes before the legislature, an area that he's completely lost, and then the next place that particular document should land for perusal, for analysis, and some critical questions. Sometimes, in fact, the lawmakers and his or her staffers should debate, they should brainstorm on certain documents before he or she goes on the floor. Before
Right.
he or she goes on the floor. In that way, you know exactly what you're going to be doing. In that way, you become a floor fighter, not just a noise maker, but when you speak on the issues, you know what you're talking about.
But you see the problem with
Absolutely.
our legislature and stuff. That's why I'm 100% support people having some authority in some field of studies and stuff. But staffers are very important.
Yeah.
Staffers are very important because when these bills come, they are this big. You alone as a lawmaker cannot review the whole thing. But let's not forget about the size of the bills. Our lawmakers, they are jokers. They are a bunch of jokers. So they don't even care for what's in the bill. They care for what in there for them. So they don't care what's coming to pass. They figure, okay, once we say okay, it passed, we get our late cut. It's up to the president or the executive branch to do whatever they want to do with that money in the budget, so they don't get our own. And that's very dangerous and scary. You know, like and then I was saying, the staffers. Even let's just take for example, Yeka Koluba. Yeka Koluba, when he speaks, he sounds like somebody like a high school dropout, right? But I can assure you, Yeka make some of the most sound argument on the floor.
Yep.
That's why they don't like him. You see, you don't have to be educated or PhD or bachelor PhD or whatever the case may be. So long you have common sense and you have good staffers behind you that can review those bills and break it down to you, and you debate the pros and cons of the bills, and then you guys come to a consensus and you go on the floor and you present it. Most of the time, even in the U.S. Congress, those guys, they're not the smartest tool in the sharpest tool in the toolbox. But the staffers they have behind there are geniuses. That when they give it and they come and argue, they sound smart, but they present the right thing. So that's why we need to focus on even more. But our people, they do not care.
So
everybody want to get our brother and sister and job, so they put a million staff on.
Francis, to what you're saying, right? For instance, I have passion for mass communication. Journalists that you see on who are anchors, right? Who present on television, who are anchors. They are not the one that break the story. They are not the one that do all the writing. They got a whole team behind them.
Production team,
story.
the production crew.
They get investigators. They got people who know how to do interviews. They got people who know how to to just reach out to the community and bring a different story. They sit and brainstorm and then they prepare that whole thing. That sometimes 5 second or 15-second video that you see, that almost hours and hours of video,
hours of
put
debate,
together and concise it to the point, just to the point. Anderson Cooper will not be making 25 million naira a year just because of 2 hours time slot that he have. He have a whole team behind him that do all of the work, right?
And you're right, and
it is
I
the
think
same. It is the same thing with. So let me speak to the effect of Representative Yega Kwaluba.
we're about to go now. We're about to go now.
Let me, Mama, give me 30 seconds, please.
Anthony, you just coming after plenty years. You won't
Okay, Mama, give me 30 seconds. Let me wrap on there. So in politics, something we call a constructive disruptor, right? Is who Yega Kwaluba is. Now, after doing that constructive disrupting thing on the floor, he needs a team now. That way, his staff will come into play. Draft a bill, write the speaker, and then when you write the speaker and present a legislation, that legislation now should be given an audience so you can debate it on the floor and see if they worry going for a vote and all of the different things. But if you just do the disruptive part outside, then it becomes a problem.
Thank you. And I think everything boils down. Everything boils down.
Also, you always make salient point. It's just like he's missing that other piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and I think everything boils down to the famous saying that teamwork is what makes the game work. All right. So
but first of all, before
I don't know how you came back, Anthony,
Listen.
but folks are agreeing with Anthony in the comment section in a long time. I mean, I remember in the heat of the campaign when folks were Peter Anthony and George received the highest number of latches on this show.
But Nelson, before we dive into our discussion,
Dr. Kelvin, welcome to the show.
We all discuss. I mean, we're all discussing about this staffers issues. But you guys really know how much staff are making in Liberia before the sacrificing, and all depends the amount of staff the qualified or competent staff you will hire in your office. So we got to look at all the factors.
Some legislative staffers, staffers make $350.
That's a little nothing.
Some of them $500.
That's a little nothing.
At a point, I knew of a COS, a chief of office staff, who was making around $900. Yeah. So so that's how it is, and that's another aspect. Maybe how much.
So they pay you based on your credential or what?
Oh, does it? You upgrade me today. Get a spoon logo behind me because the way agree with me.
No, but I don't know what happened. I saw people moving in and coming out. I think Francis moved in and came out.
I didn't move, but when somebody come on, then the system will probably.
But you are next to mobile on the stream though.
Anthony, please.
Let me just tell Anthony that I'm in spot you.
But I already told Ami, I said, if you put me in the bag again, I'll come back with this.
You can complain that baby man.
I got a lot to offer to this show. I keep telling you.
It's good to be here again, folks, and I want to say thanks to everyone. Dr. Kelvin, welcome. It's good to see you. Francis, nowadays Francis is the first guy to be on. I must commend him. Francis comes in earlier than even the co-moderator nowadays. The male is sleeping. Imagine, look at those of you watching, just look at Moba's face. You know the guy was sleeping. He just woke up.
The mother posted a link.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
shared the link
Eh,
with him.
thank
I
God.
shared the link with him.
And
I
you see
called
it?
him. I shared the link with him because
So it
my
means I was
WhatsApp,
sleeping. I'm on your getting link.
my WhatsApp is down. I
I
didn't
went on
come
the
with the
Facebook page,
charger.
I download it, and then I copy and paste. I copy and then I paste it to all the WhatsApp groups. That's what I did.
But it's good to be here. Look, lots of things happening in the country. So many things happening. Today's the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAR. I know a lot of you know about that. CENTAR is the local chapter of Transparency International. So they came up with they came up with a report. They've been doing a survey, if you may, across the country. They've been doing a kind of a survey across the country. So they came up with a report today. That report is called let me get it right. It's called the State of Corruption Report. This is something they do annually, and that report highlighted or it highlights uh, lack of prosecution of corrupt officials, the lack of prosecution of corrupt officials as the reason for public sector corruption. And so, according to them, they spoke to um, several individuals across the country. Out of 728 respondents that were interviewed across 9 counties in Liberia, 90% of those people attributed Liberia's underdevelopment to the growing wave of rampant corruption. Not just rampant corruption, but the failure of the authority to prosecute the individuals, those public officials who are caught in the web of corruption. So, yes, that's for the CENTAD, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, a state of corruption report. So, there's a recount going on in District 4, Bon County. You know, the National Elections Commission, a lot of people think that once the election is over and everything, it means that NEC has gone back to being dormant or nothing is happening there. No, but there are cases that are currently before the National Elections Commission. Majority, I mean, a good number of the lawmakers, let me put it that way, were not certificated during the recent certification program that went on, and that is because there are disputes in some of those districts in the counties, and
I
the
think
national
15, right?
elections.
If I'm
Yeah,
mistaken, 15. Yeah,
yeah. So the National Elections
that's a
Commission is
lot.
hearing those cases. So for the cases that are heard at NEC, and maybe any of the parties is not satisfied with the outcome, they then take an appeal. They go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court makes the final decision, since in fact the final arbiter of justice in the country. So yes, that is going on, and so there is this recount going on in District 4, Bon County. Now, with this whole sanction thing that's happening in the country, you go everywhere. But let me just throw this one in quickly. The last batch of Liberian peacekeeping contingent returned from Mali. Uh, uh, they will be returning from Mali, rather, on Thursday. And this is following
Yeah,
10
now brother
years
they got home. They look hungry, hungry.
10 years of stressful mission. They've been in Liberia and contributing to the peacekeeping mission there. So they'll be returning today, or let's say tomorrow for those of you in the US and other places, since you stay in the other day. But we in Thursday here in Liberia. So that is that. Now, and one quick one with this whole thing about sanction going on in the country, there has been mixed reactions. People are speaking out. People are reacting to this sanction thing, and there are different views being expressed about this whole sanction situation. And one of those persons who expressed a very strong view today is the National Patriotic Person, Chairman Emeritus, Chief Siri Allen. Chief Siri Allen termed. Now let me get the old man picture up here. Why are we talking about this one? He termed this whole sanction thing that's going on as a mere bluff. He said, he said, this whole sanction thing is a mere bluff. It's like a toothless bulldog, and it is not going to in any way change anything because Liberia is on the right path. The country is progressing. I'm gonna read just pick up some points from what
Because
Chief.
it's saying part of the corrupt people, so you gotta talk.
Okay, so this is the chairman emeritus of the National Patriotic Party. As you know, the NPP is a constituent political party, a constituent member of the Coalition for Democratic Change. Despite Chairman James Barney being on the other side. So, so he said the recent sanction imposed on key officials of the CDC government by the U.S. Department of the Treasury is can be termed as toothless bulldog, and so according to him, this sanction from the United States government lacks fundamental guidelines, and according to him, the CDC, which the NPP is a party to, does not deserve any form of witch hunt. The CDC, which the NPP is a party to, does not deserve any form of witch hunt. And so his own argument was that the legislature cannot pass a budget for a particular government, ministries, or agency to solicit money from that entity. So he was speaking in the specific case that has to do with Senate Pro Tempore Albert Chie. And so he said some of the officials who have been sanctioned by the US government have not been in the United States for over 30 years. So they are living their lives here much better than what they could be living in the US or other places. So the sanction makes, I mean, it doesn't hold water. It's like a toothless bulldog. So this is a response coming from a stalwart, an influential person within the CDC. Now, a lot of you remember when I don't know what's happening here. I keep seeing this. Are your connections wrong
I
enough?
think I
I
think
keep
I
seeing
think
going
I
out and
think that
coming in.
deriving from the network.
Okay, is it from my end? No, I don't think it's from my
I
end though.
think so.
Yeah.
I think
So
I'm put me by my spot, man.
the IT student network that's strong.
yeah, but we have to be careful. Anthony. Anthony is an IT guy,
But the man network
and
that's
stuff
strong.
like that, and he's on
No,
tonight, and the thing is just
The thing
shifting.
that keep giving power.
Anthony, for instance, you gotta be careful with Anthony because for every time he goes out, he goes with you and he comes back with you.
no, no,
So
no.
I don't know.
I mistakenly. I was trying to read a comment and I hit the exit button.
Oh, okay, okay,
That's
okay.
all.
So
That's
yeah,
all I
so
did, my man. I mean, I'm not the only IT person. Don't do that, my man. Before the people be acting that.
no, but Sharif is not on tonight. How come you're on? And then anyway, BB is not on either. BB is an IT person too, but she's not on tonight. But I don't know. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day. But he said that now a lot of you know that when CDC was in the middle of this crisis, especially when the NPP, James Barney fashion and the Jewel Howard Taylor fashion had that commotion. And I remember that the program they had to welcome back some of their staffers, Samuel Jackson, some of their members rather, who reaffirmed their membership, Samuel Jackson and the likes. That program went out of order for several minutes, close to an hour, until Chief Siri Allen stood up. He demonstrated how much of an influence he has in that political party. And things got calm. Order was restored in no time. So this is the Chief Siri Allen, a very influential member of the Coalition for Democratic Change, the outgoing administration that has come under serious criticism demonstrated by the sanctions being imposed on top officials of government. Now, in reaction to this action from the US government, Chief Siri Allen says that the sanction is a toothless bulldog. It has no merit, it is unfounded, it is misleading, and that in fact some of the people who have been sanctioned today have been living their best lives out of the US. So it doesn't add up. It doesn't take away anything from them. And in fact, that the aspect that has to do with Albert Cheer is just not true. And his statement today is in alignment with what the Senator Albert Cheer said yesterday in his comment when he spoke of how he had never solicited money from any institution or whatever to pass bills, and that his fellow lawmakers should take this seriously too, because it's casting a dark cloud over them. It's in alignment when Chief Siri Allen says that the legislature does not accept money from anybody to pass bills, from any entity or individual or what have you to pass bills, and so that makes the sanction unfounded, misleading, and just of no use. Now let's hear from you guys. We're gonna move to other aspects of the happenings. But what do you make of the reaction of Chief Siri Allen today when it
You want me
comes
to
to this
start?
whole thing?
You want me to
Let's
start?
no, I want us to start from down here, then we can go up. Let's start with Francis. Francis.
All right. Yeah, you see, that's why it's just sometimes when something is going extinct, just let it go. Don't revive it. That comment directed to the folks at Siri Island. You know, they still got gunpowder in their brain. Siri Island is an older man, so he's supposed to be like a statesman, but his words just tell me that he's one of those corrupt people that just don't care about what's happening to the Liberian people. He's so corrupt to the point that he can sit here and brag about people that have enriched themselves in Liberia and don't care about going to the US anymore. So it doesn't matter. They may in Liberia, I mean, as a millionaire in Liberia, they may steal the country money. We can all sit here and just steal and enrich ourselves. So nothing will happen anyway. But it hasn't been over 30 years. They may live in Liberia where there is no private sector job, no company owned by private Liberian. Most Liberians are not only company that can make them millionaires, but all of our millionaires, most of our millionaires come from being government official. So he said that they don't care. You can stay in Liberia and get rich. The status quo is okay. So he should be ashamed of himself for saying stuff like that. Because for we, the young generation that are coming up, our young brothers and sisters in Liberia that are supposed to take over from the likes of Siri Islander who were rebels with Charles Taylor and take our country a different direction, there's still no chance if you have this. If these are the type of people we have waiting to pass the baton on to the next generation. You see, this sanction it will only be like a tooth in his to quote him a toothless bulldog if Joseph Barker come in and doesn't investigate the allegation made against these people.
But in the first place here, Francis, Chief Siri Allen is saying that the sanction is misleading. That the U.S. government is misleading the Liberian population, misleading the rest of the world, to get them thinking that those officials who have been sanctioned were involved into some of what they've outlined in that document for which they've been designated or they've been sanctioned. He said those things are not true.
Right, but that's that rebel mentality and stuff. I don't care. I'll just do or say whatever I can because I can talk. We know Liberia said talk is cheap. We thought are free, so he will just talk. He shouldn't. People look up to him. So for him to come and make a reckless statement like that, that's a problem, because let them go and prove the burden of proof is on the government of Liberia, not on those people. They don't have to prove anything, right? A lot of them are already elected officials. So it's up to Joseph Barker to come in and take the evidence that George Weah refused to request, because he know that if he investigates his own people, every crime they have committed, he's the kingpin of that gang. It will hold him too, so he did not investigate. But Joseph Barker now can come in and request those evidence and investigate those people and exonerate them, or after trial, if they're found guilty, and penalize them. So nobody knows if it's true or not. I can sit here as we can also only speculate based on what we see. We see people have no power to piss in. Think the government now build apartment buildings and have cars that even when you pay them in advance, they are 6 years salary. They can't afford to build those houses and stuff like that. So where did they get those the money from? You see, so we can only all speculate, but we should sit down, shut up, and look up the Joseph Barker administration to send his Justice Department to investigate these people and exonerate them if they're not guilty, or charge them if they are guilty. But you shouldn't sit there and make a statement like that.
This statement is coming just 2 days after this sanction thing, or 2 days or so after this whole sanction thing. The sanction hits on the weekend, and on Monday, Tuesday, Senate Pro Tempore Abacha responds to the sanction. He denounces any wrongdoing or every wrongdoing captured in the sanction, and goes on to say that he's going to challenge it in court. And then the next day, Chief Siri Allen comes out to say that the sanction is misleading. It's it's baseless. It's like a toothless bulldog. It's not going to
they are creating this. They are creating this thing as an opposition, right? They are even without the sanction, they will look for something to talk about. So now, because they want to stay relevant, they'll keep talking. They'll keep talking. But all of this will be put to bed once JMB is inaugurated. Get the Justice Department to open an investigation, request whatever evidence the U.S. government has in their possession, and investigate. If nothing is there to see, innocent. If there's something there to see, you are guilty, and you've paid the penalty. That's it.
Are we seeing a case of U.S. government versus sanction officials here? Is it the next phase of this entire thing that we're moving to? U.S. government versus sanction officials of government.
That's the smoke screen they want to throw out there, but it's no. Is the sanction official versus the Liberian people? Because when the Justice Department investigate, if they are found guilty, that means they are guilty of stealing from the Liberian people, and they will have to reimburse the Liberian people and go to jail if possible.
Thank you. Let's hold you there. Let's hold you there and hear from Anthony. Anthony, what's your take on this? Let's hear you.
So when you have a culture of impunity where things happen, we have heard about so many different investigations in Liberia, and I can only think about two persons who really pay the price. Senator-elect Bernie Samuka, or one of those. Former Associate Justice Cabinet Janet was another person. Many of the people, things happen in Liberia, they sweep it under the rug, in part because, look, there are a lot of good laws on the books in Liberia. People just chose not to implement those laws, hold people accountable. For instance, out of Article 90 of the Constitution of Liberia was birthed the Code of Conduct. And that Code of Conduct not only hold elected official or appointed government official accountable, but also individuals, private citizens as well. Our lawmaker, the first branch of government, sat down, drafted a law knowing fully well that law is illegal. But they drafted it and they have it today. It's a law, and that law is called the third lane. Do we have anything called the third lane in Liberia in the traffic?
No,
Do we?
We don't have a good shoulder.
We don't even have a good shoulder. Thank you, Francis. And so a group of men and women came together and said, you know what? We will violate the law because no such thing will hold us if we do such thing. Because we fail to show up to work on time, wake up early, get on the road, and get to work on time. And so we will drive on the opposite side of the lane, the wrong way, in other words, and go to work. And that have killed a lot of people and continue to kill people. But it is a law in Liberia. Against that backdrop, do you expect anything of significance out of the UN sanction if the people who's supposed to be ethically minded, right? Do we even have the committee called Ethics and Grievance Committee at the Liberian Legislature? That's the committee of integrity. That's the
probably a committee nobody want to be a part of.
That is the committee that the United States Congress just used and expelled a congressman from New York.
Mm-hmm.
A congressman who been in the U.S. Congress for over a year plus, going to 2 years. Even though the Republican have a slight or small majority, so to speak, right? They bite the bullet and expel their own. They voted to expel him. Look, we got to be serious if we want to have a decent country. Is everything about America perfect? Absolutely not. America is a work in progress. Liberia also can be that same work in progress. But our people chose not to do the right thing. In Liberia, good people with ethical principle and moral value are vilified. And crooks and criminals are hailed. They praise them. We that speak of the truth and speak of ethical principle and moral value are called names. Oh, are you Jesus Christ's son? Are you Mary firstborn? Things of that nature. Right? You never made mistake before. When you start holding people accountable.
I tell you.
What do you want? Do you want accountability? Or do you want more of the same? Because if it comes to accountability, then we need to start from ourselves, including myself on this show. Right? And that's how you hold people accountable. But the first branch of government has failed. Now, I hear people say, oh, when JMB come into play, the executive branch cannot do certain things to lawmakers. It is within the first branch of government, that committee, the Ethics and Grievance Committee, is responsible to hold lawmakers accountable. Right? So, we will hope if the new administration comes into play, reach out to the U.S. government, seek those evidences, and bring people to book. But Senator Snow, then Representative Snow, got sanctioned. It's been 10 years today, he's been on sanction. 10 years, and he's living large. In fact, he's a political influencer in Liberia. He has a political influence. Right? Prince Johnson sanction, Vani Shaman sanction. I mean, the list goes on. So when other people start hearing this,
Anthony, do you agree with Chief Siri Allen that the sanction is like a toothless bulldog? I mean,
well,
there are people sanctioned.
say-
Like you're
he's-
saying there are people sanctioned. They are living their best life, their best lives, even out of the U.S.
well, here's the thing: the United States can only go so far and do things that is in their interest.
Okay.
Visa restriction and all of the different things, they can do those things. Remember that Liberia is a sovereign nation. The United States can come and arrest people and stroke them to jail just like that, even though we have a treaty signed with them. But it have to, something have to warrant that in order for that to happen. America can just come and arrest a government official and throw them into jail if the crime that that person commit does not directly or indirectly affect America. You understand? So the Magnitsky Act was originally for Russia, right? They designed that legislation for Russia in 2014. And then they expanded upon that. It got passed into the law 2016 when Obama was still president, got into effect when Trump took over. And then they spread it to the rest of the world. So that law only gave the United States what she's doing right now. Call people to book, put them on visa restriction and all of the different, you freeze their assets and all of that different things.
But
They
Francis,
can only freeze
what do you
assets
think?
here in America, right? They can't freeze assets and also freeze assets in Liberia. But if they have their assets somewhere else in the world that America is not aware of, they may not be able to freeze their
So
assets.
again, let me come in with this. Sorry, I keep saying Francis Anthony. Let me come in with this. Do you agree with Chief Siri Ali on this assertion? That
Well, to a certain extent, when he was not speaking to America, he was speaking like, hey, we in Liberia. Yeah, America, he did a thing, but we in Liberia. Nothing not going nowhere, man. That lead in Liberia, our friends, lead that team, my man. Lead that thing, right? It's the lead that team. Why? Because we don't have men and women of courage in our Liberian legislature that can take upon this thing. The committee is there. Who will now say, you know what? If you're a lawmaker and you honor this thing, you're not supposed to vote on anything, right? Because you are sanctioned. You're not supposed to partake. Your voice is not needed in plenary, right? You can't attend plenary, all the different things, but they're not doing none of that, right? These are people who decided that we will drive on the lane that does not exist. Do you think they will take upon themselves and put anything that they are all in
okay? So you agree with him on some to some extent?
To some
that,
extent,
yeah,
that America may do her sanction, but until the men and women in the legislature muster the courage, and the executive branch also muster the courage to go after these guys, establish a special court, or no, not a special court, but appoint a special prosecutor. That's the word I was looking for. Appoint a special prosecutor to go after these people, ask for the evidences from the United States, and go after these people. Nothing will happen. I mean,
no. Let's end up with you on this. We're about to move to Dr. Kelvin, but let me end up with you on this. We have a situation where the second batch, or let me say the first batch of officials, or let's make it the second, because Senator Prince Johnson is equally an official of this government, the fact that he works at the legislature. So the second batch of the list of sanctions captured Minister Nathaniel McGill, the Solicitor General then, Councillor Sima Serena Seafers, and the NPA boss Bill Terry. From that time, we didn't get to hear the call for a specialized committee, an independent body to investigate and help them clear their names. We didn't get to see that. Yesterday, there was an open letter from Councillor Serena Seafers indicating how he has been asking President George Weah to set up a committee that will investigate them, despite what comes from the U.S. government, but investigate them so that they can have their day in court. He specifically was asking for his day in court so that he can actually exonerate himself or maybe be indicted further. With this coming from Chief Siri Ali, we have on one hand Councillor Seafers saying, I want to have my day in court. I want to be tried. I want to be investigated. Chief Siri Ali, on the other hand, said this thing is baseless. It's misleading. How do you reconcile the two? If you were to, find a link there, or maybe find something that is not connecting there.
So let me begin by saying, in America, when you're driving and you see a police car parked, what are now a police officer is in our car? That's not the point. The point is, because a police cruiser is parked, everyone in that lane will slow down, or on that particular traffic lane will automatically slow down and do the exact
100% true.
speed limit. You know why?
Yeah.
Because we all know when you are speeding, It does two things. You pay higher fine, it put points on your license, and then increase your insurance premium. So by just seeing a police vehicle, whether or not a police officer is in that vehicle, automatically sends a signal to each driver and say, slow down before you get a ticket. Because that ticket is not negotiable. All right? Why is that? Because the system works. The only way our people will take things serious, unless an example is set on one or two persons. Until then, we will have this circle of impunity in Liberia. And our children will come and will still be the same. We just need one individual with the courage to do it right.
Wow. Okay, thank you, Anthony. Let's move to Dr. Kelvin, and hear his own take on this, and we'll take more about it. Dr. Kelvin, let's hear from you. You listen to the response of Chief Siri Allen with respect to this whole sanction situation. He said it's misleading. It's like a toothless bulldog, and yes, what's your take on that?
Well, thank you, Mr. Kula and fellow panelists and those in viewing land. Thank you for taking your time to listen to us. I think that he's a partisan of the CDC, so he's just giving his support to the alliance of members of the CDC who have been hit by this sanction. And the sanction has started to bite, and they can feel it, and this is why they are confused. Then when you see a person like Serena Seaforth coming out say he want to clear his name yesterday, I think he was trying to say that he know that the sanction is there, and the person that giving the sanction, those are people that are in authority, and he respect it. So he want to clear his name. Well, he know that the people got evidence on him, but he just want to come to join the momentum of those, because they are getting many in the basket now. Like the other author, Serena Seaforth said, he said they were all the rats, they are catching other rats before. So you know the rats are getting too many, and
Can you lower the volume of yeah? Can we all just mute while we have Dr. Kelvin speak?
So hello. So I think this is why he was saying that. But let me tell you something. This sanction does two or three things. It comes with a life sentencing for barrier for entering the United States. With not only the individual alone, but along with the family members. I think that was emphasized by the ambassador and from I think a diplomat from the embassy. She said that, and it also serves as antecedent for prosecution by the incoming administration. You know, this sanction. It have highlighted, put them in the category. Those that will be, there are other people that will also be. They will be audited, as I said yesterday. So I will emphasize again. I just want to emphasize what my brother was saying, that Mr. Gay was saying that whether they will be, we don't have investigation. But you see, we in Liberia, let me tell you, the law is there, the book is there, it is written, but we don't have the guts to prosecute those in authority. I told you yesterday. I said if we go to do that, anybody go to do that, it will be bad. I don't want to mix apple with banana or things like that, but I just want to say, just as I understood from you guys, I think gave all your point. And so this is why you see Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen is a man that have lived in life of violence. He know nothing that he lived in life of lawlessness. You see, this guy, this is why you see his name is Chief Allen. That way he got that name from MPFL. Those days, those guy lived in violence. So he everything that is violent, that is lawless. They don't want to see the transformation of Liberia. They want to see Liberia to be stagnated, and people begging them and calling them chief. And so they don't want those that have been corrupting the system to be persecuted. This is why he gave it a support. And if the law will take a course, and under the new administration on the incoming
Dr. Kelvin, do you see this as a throw of support towards on the side of the officials of government who have been sanctioned, or do you see it as his honest analysis of this whole idea of sanction against top officials of government? Despite he coming from the CDC, despite he being a stalwart of a constituent political party within the coalition, but he's a Liberian. I mean, don't you see this as his own analysis of this whole sanction thing when he says it's misleading, it's unfounded, and in fact, Albert Chia, for example, did not, or the legislature does not accept bribes to pass bills and all of those things. Don't you see this as his own analysis on that? That's part of the CDC thing.
Yeah, I see as one analysis, but this is how the guy was brought up in lawlessness. So the form of what you said that he's in support of his colleague, yes, he's in support of his colleagues because they are all in the alliance of that make up the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC. So this is why he is giving his support like that and saying that it is normal for them to live in Liberia in that lawlessness. But mind you, they're coming, the new commander in chief coming with his own, their own mandate, the way he want to go on. So in part of his governance is going to be transparency, the rule of law, justice for all. So this is why we take up our time to come on this platform. We know that some of us, for me, I should have been off by this time, but you know why I come? I have come because I understand the fight is not over. We thought that the election was over, but this guy are still trying to corrupt our system, and therefore we must come to be able to make our voices heard among the Liberian and the people in TV land, in radio land. They will understand that what is good for Liberia. This is what we are here to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a whole lot, Dr. Kelvin. Let's hear from you, Moba.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. Well, I think my fellow colleague said it all, but I would just add to the to what he said. Stephen Adden, he have no family, no connection with America, so he ready to say anything, but he forgetting to know that half of the people who they put on the sanction today got a tie with America, meaning they got family here, and he over there saying things like he's not believe the system is corrupt, blah blah blah, all this stuff. If he, like when the first sanction came out, doing when President George Manneh was still in office, why he was not the president who probably should tell George, you know what, we believe the people. Why we can just open investigation and see, so we can shame the people they call America. But you know why they never did it? Because the evidence is glaring. We all know what is going on in Liberia. We all know the corruption. And Stephen Adden have been a beneficiary from since Charles Taylor regimes up to now. He's still benefiting from government. So he get a right to say what he's supposed to say to like my big brother said, Kevin, to protect the past regime. He just got to say something so that they can say he talk. That's it. He got to say something so that Joey can say, oh yeah, they been talk too. That's the reason why he comes out with a kind of statement. It's not even having fact in it, but he just say what. So Joey can say, you know what, they been praising me. That's all. But then you know they did.
So Chief Siri Allen is saying that this sanction doesn't make sense, it's misleading, it's baseless. One of the individuals, one of the ex-officials of government who has been sanctioned, Councillor Sima Serena Cephas, the former Solicitor General, is saying, look, I want y'all to set up team to investigate me so that I can be clear. Maybe we'll have to read that letter later on tonight. Maybe we'll have to read that letter. He's saying that I want y'all to conduct an investigation, set up a team comprising of individuals from different institutions, from ECOWAS and other places, so they can clear my name. Because he said the way the thing going, we see some rats have been caught, and the other rats are apprehended. they are apprehensive because they don't know where the thing is going to fall next. So y'all do this, y'all set up this committee to investigate us now. And Chief Siri Ali, on the other hand, is saying that look, the thing not even makes sense. I mean, where do you stand on this? Two statements coming from two officials
right?
within the same
Nelson, I just said it earlier, right? I said Stephen Mr. Stephen need to talk so he can be able to heal George Weah. That's the reason why he just need to talk something. But let me come to Serena C4. Serena C4, when the first sanction you guys was all around the place. Y'all debating like it was lie, it was false. What now? What now you talking about investigation? And first of all, when you talking about including ECWA, George Weah even respect his own law. When ECWA gave him the mandate to reinstate the former counselor, did he? No.
Okay.
When ECWA gave him the mandate to give the former president Doe West her pension, did he? No. So why are you talking about? You talking about competent, all they wanted and to bring law that people investigating this and that. Let the people be serious. It shouldn't come to a point that when they talk, even the child on the street, with them make phone out of it. But this
Thank
sanction, we
you.
can tell them for real. Let me conclude by saying this. They are identical
Mhm.
sanction. It's not for play. It's not for joke. Steering out, have no family in America. He right to say anything he want to say. That's fine with him. But Abache and the other rest, they have family, they have tie with America. They want to come here. They want to visit America. And they get access here. They get resources here. Meaning they got family here and they invest in those families. So end of the day, they want to come here. And it hurt them deeply than what Steering out is saying. Steering get nobody here. So he must shut up and keep quiet.
But
Let the American take a course.
Moba, having someone like Chief Siri Allen coming up to condemn this whole sanction thing, considering how influential he is, what sort of impact you think this is gonna have on this whole action this entire action that's
I
been taken
wish
by the
I
U.S.
wish
government?
America
Because he's an influential person, like Anthony said, he is a political influencer.
yeah,
All right, you can't take that from him.
same period of time. Yeah, we agree. But
Okay.
then I pray that America I under name to the list. Then they all of them go on an investigation. I think then he
Come
will
on,
keep quiet.
come on, come on,
Can,
come on.
can I can I tell
Anthony,
can I,
would that solve any problem? I mean,
no,
Ali is me because they
No,
may already condemn the thing. He says it doesn't make sense.
no,
no.
but
It
nothing,
doesn't take away.
nothing.
See,
Here's the
I
thing.
didn't
Yeah.
been working in government since Charlie King time. They have any or let's say business where they think with our government they can survive. No, they cannot survive with our government. So they only in government to corrupt the system. So that's the reason why he coming out here telling the Liberian that it had no fat in it, it had no substance. What
Now, now,
all these people, you know what happened to them? All the people in America, you know what happened to them? They are worried because they'll soon be deported back.
so thank you, Moba. But Anthony, I saw you wanted to come in.
Yeah.
With the statement made now,
Mhm.
considering what Moba said, if they were even to include his name on the sanction, does it take away anything? Does it add anything? Because he
So
already said that this thing doesn't it's misleading. I mean, it's
so here's the thing.
let's hear from you, Anthony. Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? You heard Abache. Abache made his statement that then followed by the Siri Allen gentleman, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of being dismissive of it. That does not change the fact that America is serious about this thing. Now look at Samuel 12. Look at Abache and the rest of the other folks who have family members here in the U.S. Some of them are children are going to school and in university and things of that nature. They have assets here and all of that. They froze their assets, right? And they will not be able to travel here if your son's supposed to be graduating from college or, something like your daughter getting married. You can't come here, right? All of those things. Not only that, if you hear the chief prosecutor of a country, right, Sereno Silva, talking about clearing his name, it's very embarrassing. Clearing a name on alleged corruption allegation against you when you're supposed to be the chief prosecutor of the nation. I mean, it just tells you that the culture of impunity that I spoke about earlier continue to circle around because these guys are not held accountable. In Liberia, the man who committed the most crime is the man that is celebrated. Unfortunately, it's our culture.
Now, this is interesting. And Francis, you wanted to come in on that. This is interesting. Now, going to the open letter that Councillor Cephas wrote, right? And I like and I'm picking up from the point where you mentioned that this man is supposed to be the chief prosecutor, and then he's calling for his name to be clear. But this paragraph, let me just read this paragraph here real quick. This place where he said, "Excellency, I'm totally innocent of what I was accused of, but my mere denial or dismissal of these allegations, as in the case of other officials, is not sufficient to set me free or to set anyone free until I have my day in court, which is cardinal constitutional benchmark of due process under the law." And this final one, he says, "I trust your excellency will not again sweep this suggestion under the carpet, because I believe, which is not true, which is now true, that the proverbial town trap is not for rat alone, has now is not for rat alone. How sad is it that so many rats have been caught, so many rats have been caught, and others are apprehensive and jittery for cover because they do not know where the chips may fall next." Listen,
Stephen, I will be the next. We'll put
was
on our
there
system.
a kind of a fear expressed here by the counselor? And are we seeing the complete contrary in the case of Chief Siri Ali? Are we seeing
Yeah.
here that the Solicitor General was a bit afraid, especially in this portion of his write-up, but in the case of Chief Siri Ali, he didn't care. He said, "I think it doesn't make
But
sense."
you see, Nelson, the thing here is this. Now that if Judge Weah had a second term, he wouldn't have come up with that letter. But now that he knows that, okay, there's a different administration and opposite from his party,
Okay.
the chance of them going to court is high. It's highly likely that the Barker administration, his Justice Department, will request the evidence and take them to court or investigate them. You see? So now he's coming out now and say, "Dang, we can deny all we want, but they are going to drag us to court." It's not like, oh, Georgia is going to be there with just maybe 10 people write one resignation letter, which is very unprofessional, and we'll go sit down. Then like bring people that are so gullible will say, "Oh, let's vote them into another office." But he knows that's not going to happen now. So that's why he gave all the parable. That time trial is not for Ryan alone. It's for Judge Weah.
Some rats have been caught, while other rats are running around and feeling apprehensive because they don't know where this thing is gonna fall next.
Okay,
But
Was he
I
expressing
want
fear
to play
here?
a devil advocate
Wait.
here, though.
No,
Yeah.
no, hold on, Anthony.
Okay, let's have Francis to conclude. I mean, welcome to the show.
If you
It's good to have you on.
if you have the rats, right,
Yeah.
running in a playpen, just drop one cat in that middle, they will all start running helter skelter. That's what's happening now. The Americans have started putting sanctions on them one by one, catching a little rat them one by one. They're using the glue, they're using the clip that can go pam. They're using the sticker one that they can come and stick on different trap, just catching the rat them. You know, so 3, 40 on one trap like that. They're clearing around George Weah and his wife and her brother, or whatever the case may be. They're clearing around them. So that's why he's trying to point out attention for Ryan Lewis, and no amount of denial will save us this time. But I'll keep going back close with this.
Wow.
President-elect Barker, soon to be President Barker, he better not take this for granted. He better not try to push this back and try to say, "I don't want to ruffle anybody's feather," because he said he was coming to change the country. And the change we need in this country is people being held accountable. If people cannot be held accountable, there is no change. There will be zero change if people can come and do things with impunity. So he better come and do what we say him there to do, we as the Liberian people. Because if not,
Thank you.
I don't even want to say much.
I beg to
But
differ. I
Nelson,
want to play a devil
Okay.
advocate here for a second. And
Yeah.
here's the devil advocate says right here. So JKK voted 98% alongside with CDC lawmakers in the House. Also served as a deputy chair on the finance and the budget committee, right? If he is sanctioned, and that is a big if, would JMB appoint a special counsel to prosecute these people?
That would be the Nelson Mandela moment in Liberia. That would be a good one. If it happens, if JKK is sanctioned or he gets on that warrior sanction, that would be a defining moment, and that would put JMB on the top, the
That
cream
is
of the
yet to be
crop
determined, so that would be an
of
interesting factor.
integrity in Liberia.
Yeah, Mr. Kule,
Yeah.
can
Dr.
I
Kelvin.
have 1 second on this, Mr. Ellen, something?
Okay.
Yeah, you asked a question, and I was looking at it. You are talking about the influence of Mr. Cyril Allen. I think he don't have no influence on the population of Liberia. I think he's only trying to give support for his base, or whatever, which, of course, the people that he try to give support for, those people are not even listening to him because they are under tension and they know what it is. And coming back to that letter, I think the summary of that letter that Mr. Chill wrote is that what he said that the president should not take it lightly. He should take it very serious. He shouldn't put it under the rug. His suggestion. So that means that he wanted for Mr. Weir to organize a committee so they can be able to judge them before this incoming administration. Definitely, he know that there is some kind of judgment coming for him, and he will face justice. So this is why I want to inject into the conversation. Thanks. I rest my case.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
We're about
Nelson,
to. Yeah.
yeah, although we discussing the center release test state of corruption report on the transparent accountability.
Yeah, transparency and accountability in Liberia.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you mean the
That
center?
release that tested, they tested against
State of
corruption.
corruption
Part
report.
of response, yeah.
Yeah. You
I
have
asked him,
something
do we
on that?
discussing it tonight?
I just threw that in as
Oh,
as
okay. I just
part
want
of
to
the-
get a little. I just want to get a little grandson about. You can go on like that.
Okay, yeah, but let's wrap up on this talking point. Amy, welcome to the show. Let's hear you. Let's turn the floor over to
Okay.
the lone female on set now to weigh in her thoughts on this issue. I see someone is in the background. Let me bring them on.
I mean, well, yeah.
I
My
tried to
man,
get
I
her
mean,
off
stop,
track
man.
when I saw
Man.
her.
Stop.
Is it?
I mean, know what I'm talking about. Nobody
No,
else
come
know.
on. Let's leave that. I mean, welcome to the show. Let's hear your take on this issue. You followed the latest response from Chief Siri Allen today with respect to this whole sanction thing.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, everybody had already said what I wanted to say. I don't think we should dwell on that. Stephen Allen, I don't see where they have some kind of integrity about telling people. I mean, I won't even waste my time on that, Pepe. Let's just move on. I mean,
Okay.
everybody already said it. Like, especially Mr. Jensen already said, he's only trying to support his base. That's what it is. Nothing else. So it's nothing to waste time on. Let's go on the next topic.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a whole lot.
I mean,
So
2 seconds today.
yeah, surprisingly, shockingly.
Princess.
Sorry, I look at
I mean, everybody get a view.
So, Jeremiah, let me say welcome to the show. Is this your first time joining us? You are muted. I think I did that. Let me unmute you. Now you're good. You're unmuted. Are you here? Are you with us? Okay, no. Jeremiah,
it's
you have
audio.
to. Your audio is not good. You
gotta
can
fix
log
that
out.
headphone.
Okay, you okay? Can you hear us?
You gotta
Talking about we can't hear him.
Yeah. So let
Something
me.
with the audio.
Yeah. Let me get it out. Then he will come back. Yeah. So so that is where we are. I want us to take a few calls on this. There is this update I want us to touch on as well on this Jefferson Coach's appearance at the court day. Yeah. but I'm trying to get those updates coming through here. Once we can get them, then we'll go through that. But yes, Mobak, let's come in quickly with that center thing. I think it's very important. Uh, their own state of corruption report that they came up with. Uh, we um we have a situation where the discussion around corruption has been a major one for years in our country. Um, Many years back, officials of government were put on the polls and they were shot in the presence of family members, friends, because of corruption. Publicly, they were executed because of corruption. Because of corruption, one group of people felt dissatisfied, felt that the national cake was not distributed equitably. We went to the butchers. We destroyed our infrastructures because of corruption. And even after many decades, corruption is still around. It's like a family member, it's like a roommate, it's like a fellow citizen that has come and is now living with us. Corruption. So this group, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, um, is here. The local chapter of Transparency International in Liberia. They are taking on this fight. They're exposing things, working with different groupings, civil societies, pushing the government feet to fire, stressing the need for the government to empower anti-graft institutions so that the fight against corruption will be stronger than what we have now. As part of what they are doing, or as part of what they do this state of how do you call it, state of corruption report annually. So they reach out to different counties across the country. They solicit the views of Liberians on those different corruption issues. They compile those reports and they come up with their findings every year. And this year is a whole bucket report. It's a whole volume of document. I wanted us to have Anderson here. Maybe we'll do that sometime during the week. But just to flip through this year report has it that um, the lack of prosecution of corrupt officials is the major reason, the number one reason why the public sector is corrupt. And Senta said they went out, they were able to speak with 728 respondents from across the
Nine
country.
counties. Nine.
Precisely, they were able to speak to people from 9 counties, and 90% of those people, their responses to Centaur was the reason why, in a nutshell, the reason why corruption is prevalent in our Liberian society. It is just because there's little done with respect to with prosecution. People carry on corrupt act and they're not being prosecuted. No deterrence is being set, and that contributes to the wave of corruption we've seen over the time. Well, we need not to talk about the impact of corruption on a country like Liberia. How much of a damage corruption brings upon a country like ours. But now let's talk a bit on this. Let's do a round on this aspect. Talking about what Senta is highlighting here, um, the lack of prosecution. Do we really have lack of prosecution when it comes to corruption in Liberia? Do we have a system? Do we have an environment? Do we have a country where people carry on corrupt act and they just go free? Nothing is done. Nobody push those individuals feet to fire. maybe the law doesn't work against those individuals. Do we really have that kind of system in Liberia? Let's start with you, Moba.
Look, I think the only thing we all hear today is because corruption. Number one,
We here today because
if
Moba, I
yeah,
don't get
because we're
it.
discussing it based on what happened in Liberia. That's what we hear.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and let me say this right. If any serious minded government, right, can open any investigation, no one is excluded. Everybody should be included, down to the president. KNB. Anybody who found guilty of corruption should be penalized. Look at what yeah. Look at the report of the transparency and accountability. Look at that report. When you read the report, you get cold. You will know how much the people have stolen from that country. More especially the Summit 12, who will put money, who will allocate money in the budget for certain development in counties, and then he will not go and implement those development. He will take those money and eat it, share it among themselves. That's how corruption has killed our people. That's the reason why they said, because and when you read the report, it's true. It is true. No one is holding anybody accountable for corruption in Liberia. People do corruption, they go to steal massively, and they walk free.
Again, let me ask you this question: do we really have that environment where no one gets prosecuted for corruption?
Because
that's what I'm saying. We have seen cases. Take, for example, the NPA saga, right? How do you call him? Momo. How do you call him? Dwana. His name is escaping me. When this issue came up, he was prosecuted.
Nothing.
He was dismissed as a result of that issue at the National Housing Authority. You know about that situation.
Nothing.
And there have been a few other cases, where people will be. So, do we have
corruption? Corruption. Let me come to your point. You see, we always play corruption with politics, with party line. That's what killing Liberia today. If I know you and you will close, we're from the same party. When you do something, I'll leave you. Or when you do something, I'll leave you. You get nothing to, like, I will not, even I know you see huge amount of money, I will not investigate you, because end of the day, I'll be putting myself under the boss. Because number one, I already, like, I and you, we cool, I and you, we doing things together. And end of the day, it will not like, I see they say, the man, I eat some, you eat some, come on, Labrin Palams. And you understand? So based on that reason, when the people doing investigation, they only go for opposition. Look at Samuka case. Because he was in front of UP, they wanted to sit on the chair, and there were 3 key cardinal reasons the people came out. And only one they were able to implement.
But Moba, isn't that a fight against corruption all by itself? When someone like Bernie Samukai will preside over the AFL as a Minister of National Defense, and something happens with AFL funds, and because of that, he's taken to court. He's found guilty. He's denied his seat. Isn't that a fight against corruption? And that's why I keep asking the question: do we really have an environment where there's absolutely no prosecution when it comes to corruption?
Nothing. They got an environment. It all deal with the law. The law is there, like my other brother said, Kevin. The law is there. It only leave with the Liberian government to implement these laws. Now, let me go to your question about Brennan Samuka case. Brennan Samuka was an opposition. I agree. He stole the Liberian people money. He stole the how you call it, the AFL money. He has been penalized. We agree, clear cut. But then our question now to the ruling party, when the Liberian people came up with evidence, they were saying things, right? They said money, or when Senator came out, Mapo SSR, he said he gave money to people to go do money change. At the end of the day, they print money. That seen 2020 when the bank Noah flowing all around in government officials' hands. We're not going in the local market. Does they call him for any investigation? No. So the reason about corruption is our people only based on corruption. I mean, based on, like, if I know you on that, I say on party line. It's based on party line. If I'm from the Unity Party, for example, if I corrupt somebody from the Unity Party, oh, my mayor did that member, you put that outside our whole secret. But if I'm from CDC, I corrupt, Unity Party will bring me out. So that's the reason why the people keep saying they gotta be a special tribunal for corrupt people. If you go and steal the Liberian people money, if you go, you pay something with it, it's not belonging to you. Let the people investigate you, because the one that care, they say they may still know. Let them investigate you. Let it come up with your salary. How much you making, my brother? How many businesses? Let me conclude by saying this. How many businesses you have that can support or that can build a mansion for you? You bring everything to the table, to the investigation, and the people investigate. If they found out that those businesses you're doing, it can't be able to build about 4-5-story building houses, my brother, you leave in the water.
Thank you. Let's
hold it there. Corruption in our country.
And let's move to Anthony, and then we'll make the rounds. Anthony, what's your take on this? This whole idea, this report talking about corruption, the lack of prosecution being one of the reasons why corruption is prevalent in the Liberians. Do we really have an environment where there's no prosecution when it comes to corruption?
We do have select few prosecutions, just select few. The vast majority, the culture of impunity was endorsed again. Look, I get the example of a police cruiser. If you park a police cruiser right next to the street, every driver that drives by will slow down. If that speed limit is 25, they will do 25. If the speed limit is 30, they will do 30. Right? The reason why these things happen is because when you get caught speeding, you will pay the fine. Now, not just the fine. You pay court costs. You have points on your license. Your insurance premium will go up. That's the system here. In Liberia, somebody is driving on the opposite side of the street and nobody holding them accountable because they are lawmakers. They started drafting the law like that, right? So, in the case of Cabinet Janet, the former Associate Justice of Liberia, the likes of what's his name, Representative Akara led the effort for him to be removed from office, right?
Yeah.
The impeachment proceeding. I was right in Monrovia that day when he got impeached, right? So now there were other things that they could have done for the Liberian people. They didn't do it. They spent most of their political capital to remove a single associate justice, right? So it shows that we have a law that functions if individuals are willing to do it. Let's look at the Ministry of Gender. Look at how many young children are sodomized, are raped, daily, weekly, monthly. How many of those rapists face punishment, right? When President Weah came into office, the very first investigation was NOCAD. The committee went to work and brought their report a week before the deadline, 1 week before the deadline, and put it on President Weah's desk. What happened to that report? Dead. Right? So what am I saying here? Lawmakers sat down and designed a plan to put $30,000 each in the budget. Legislative engagement. So corruption is stealing from our future, our children's future, ruin opportunity for many young Liberians. It does a whole lot of things. It's like a cancer that eat up the body so fast. And it is not a joking thing. Like you rightly said, 13 people were shot, plain blank, in the name of corruption. Where are we today? In the history of Liberian president, George Weah constructed the most homes than any Liberian president that we ever had.
Say it for the second.
We know how much money he made as a footballer. We know how much money he made as a senator. We know. George Weah never played for more than 20 million United States dollars. The highest contract that George Weah had was 17 million. If we talk about taxes and other fees and agency fee, all of that, he was receiving at least down to 13, 14 million now, right? So George Weah homes, 47 duplexes alone, is more than $17 million. That is if his entire soccer career, right, All of the money he made, he didn't spend it. He kept it until he became president and used that. It's still less than the money he made in his entire soccer career. In his entire life, his whole soccer career, George Weah has more money today than he ever made playing soccer. So, do we have men and women at the Liberian legislature that have the guts to even issue impeachment proceeding on President Weah? Absolutely not. They don't have the courage. In Liberia, the big man cannot never be wrong. The big man can cause trouble.
Say the rich man.
But man, from so far, the big man can be wrong. The
Say
big man
rich
can be
man.
wrong. So we can have cases. Somebody can pick up the phone and call the Solicitor General or the Justice Minister. Boom, that case is dead. Until we have individual, like we have started in Grand Juliet County, our lawmaker may saw rescue play Ira Madison William passed away, and we set an example. Right? It will not happen again. You know the reason why we do those things? You must stand for something as a human being. If you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing.
Thank you, Anthony. I just want us to, run on this thing quick and try to wrap up. Let's hear from you, Francis. What's your
Yeah, I
take
think
on
the
this?
wrap up soon today will be better.
Oh, you're running
Yeah,
away
man.
today.
Pretty
Man,
much.
first day back, but that'll be a long time.
Yeah, you and who can me have Tari here?
Right.
We can keep you for a long time, baby. Yeah. I can tell them what me on the show.
Go
Tell them
ahead.
what me on the show,
Let's
right?
hear you. Let's hear
But you
you.
know the whole thing. People they will say pick and choose.
Mhm.
So some people are doing pick and choose justice in Liberia. Things will not happen. But also too, I don't blame the government officials. I blame the Liberian people. I always give the example. When two people go into office the same time and they come out the same time,
Mhm.
the person that was corrupt and come out rich, the Liberian people will hail that person. They say, hey, you see, they work for himself. But the person that came out average, they'll say, look at the fully where he working government all the time, not do nothing for himself. What they don't sit down and think about is, oh, this person that came out rich probably stole our money and used it to enrich himself. But the person that came out average used the money for us, we the Liberian people. But we press the criminal and penalize or denigrate the person that actually serve our best interest. So, Paul, that's why I don't, because even look in the legislation. Why would you even elect somebody that has a cloud over them or allegations over them, even though they have the right to run? But then when they get into the house, look at folks like the deputy speaker now. They are felons. But you make the deputy speaker and he's brave enough to want to be speaker also. So you see how people don't care, criminals don't care, because they know the Liberian people don't care. But when it comes to accountability, I think we need to go back to when we used to elect superintendent and mayors, right? Because when we elect superintendent mayors, you may have a United Party president, you may have a CDC superintendent in Bond County, and LP or LPP mayor in Banga. So, if there's the county development fund, when it's approved, the mayor of Banga will want to make sure his city is taken care of. So if he doesn't receive funding from the county, from Bond County, he will tell the people that this superintendent, who is from CDC, is not funding our city. And the superintendent from CDC is not receiving county development fund from the finance ministry. He will say the United Party government is not supporting Bond County. So people will snatch on each other. But when we have the president come in and appoint the superintendent for every county and the mayor for every county, these guys don't have any incentive to do good for the people, to serve the people in their counties, in their cities, because their jobs are secure as long as the president is in office. You see, so we need to go back to that because it hurt the Liberian people. But all these things will continue to happen. Hopefully, JB can come on.
So Yeah. So, for instance, my question to you: you think you let's say you support like uh any form of prosecution, right? More especially when they open up. So you support the bureau for any point of, I mean, corruption that will investigate the person and it should be penalized, or any thought investigation to carry on. Do you support
Absolutely.
that identical idea?
Yeah, because if you don't investigate these people, it's not fair to them either. I can come and accuse Moba or something. Even if we don't investigate,
I'm not even talking about
Moba,
the sanction people though. I'm just
yeah, I know.
discussing in general.
In general,
Yeah.
there should always be investigation. Because if I accuse you of something that you did not do, and there's no investigation, there's 50-50 chance. People will say, oh, Moba did it, Moba did not do it. So it's not fair to the accused if you don't investigate. But they don't get it. They don't get it because the Liberian people don't care. They don't care for the most part. But if they investigate, now this person will be 100% exonerated or 100% found guilty. So that's why it's important to investigate every allegation, regardless of how big or small it is, so we can have an outcome. It's very important.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin?
Yeah, thank you very much. But our sister on the show, and she just come in, she waved.
She that'll be the last because she won't carry all the
It's okay, go ahead.
I should go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. She that'll be the last. Don't worry about that girl.
Okay, thank you very much, Parliament, for sitting up and coming up here today to be able to give our points to the Liberian people. I would like to appreciate this committee, this group, this organization. This organization they are doing well, and I would also like for us to have more in Liberia, more in virulent people in Liberia should appreciate this organization because they are trying to work. They are doing work, but we need to give them our support. And I thank God for Spoon for this platform that we are able to give our point so our people can be able to hear it, and those in virulent in those organizations can hear it, and those people that they are prosecuting should also hear it, and that the Liberian people will let for them to have the day in court. What I think this organization will have more of them in Liberia, you know. The thing is, I would like to ask a question: why this organization is highlighting this issue at this particular time? I think it's because of two reasons. One, this organization think that they have confidence in the incoming administration, you know, and they have confidence. This is why they are highlighting this issue at the particular time about the issue of impunity. And as our brother Mr. Gay just said, he talked about it many times on the show tonight. He talked about the issue of impunity and it shouldn't be existing in our land. This is why you see more people are still carrying on corruption in our land. So it is not good. And, you know, and Mr. Dualu said it on tonight's show. He said hours ago. He said that the president should lead in this. In control of these factors. You know, the issue of corruption. And the reason is that because while the president should be able to lead, because we Liberians will look up to our leaders. We look up to our leaders in everything, in every aspect of our life. We look up to our leaders. And our previous president in Liberia, they have been so corrupt. The previous president in Liberia, this is why you hear Mr. Colette talking about the 13 men being shot, and we have to fight civil war and all of that, because our people have been so corrupt, depriving the poor masses. Imagine someone tonight over there and have not eaten, and you call somebody calling on Spoon, somebody calling another person, family in America. I mean, the issue of corruption has been affecting to the very core of our society. And so this is why we need more of this kind of organization to come out and speak out on behalf of the Liberian people. And I think the incoming administration, Mr. Boaka, the president, is willing to set that example. He is definitely willing to set that example, and this is a very good thing. This is the beginning. This is what we are all crying for, the beginning of new Liberia. So, my sister, we should and brothers in viewing on this platform, we should not be fatigued in giving our critique about this kind of things that exist in our land. I like the way Mr. Mobas put it. He said we are all here because of corruption. Yeah, I nod my head. I say yes, we are all here because we want to make our society better. I submit to you, Mr. Mobas.
Thank you, Kevin, Mr. Kevin. Thank you so much, Doctor. Go ahead,
Yeah,
sister.
thank you, Mama. First of all, I didn't know they had any civil society in Liberia anymore because there's so many things that have been going on for the past 6 years, and we never heard anybody speak about it. So it's kind of surprising to hear it at a week hour. And what's that name again? Cinta or
Yeah.
whatever.
They call
Transparency International.
Center for Transparency and Accountability.
Well, maybe they were scared with it to transfer that accountability through that. But yeah, they are doing that. These are the kind of stuff they were supposed to be talking about since from the
Yeah,
beginning of this year or in the middle of it.
yeah,
Because
and just a quick one. I mean, this group has been into this for as long as, all right, and this report, the state of corruption report, is something that comes up annually. This is the one for this year. It comes up every year, and they have been picking up booms with the government on numerous occasions, especially the issue that has to do with giving anti-graft institutions the teeth to bite, empowering anti-graft institutions like the GSC, the LACC, and all those institutions that are fighting corruption. And they've been making some very strong recommendations to international partners and everything on that as well. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I never heard of them because they sat there and we are also went and doing some stuff that wasn't, you know, in his right. But anyways, kudos to them, right? There's a better late than never.
Yeah.
But that's why if nothing asked the question. What was the question you asked? You said, is it
Do we
possible to fight?
do we have do we have an
Environment,
environment that doesn't prosecute where
corrupt
uh, uh,
officials.
corrupt officials are not prosecuted at all?
We have an environment that selects what or who to prosecute.
Mhm.
You know, even though I never been to the Temple of Justice, or maybe I passed out a little, I don't remember, but they claim that there's a cloth on the lady's face, right?
Yeah, the statue of
I think they
justice.
may not be that cloth plenty of time. Oh no, we are like she can see now because they what we've been looking at is
I mean, that made me laugh. Yeah.
it has been selective. Like you're talking about Brian Samuka.
Mhm.
What Brian Samuka did and what other people has been doing, I would choose to prosecute other people than Brian Samuka because Brian Samuka, I don't think he went ahead and took that money on his own and used it for his own whatever. According to the story I know, I don't know if it's wrong or not, that he was given order by Eddie.
Yeah.
But because it's against the law, that's why he got prosecuted. But it wasn't something that he stole and went and built his own houses and stuff them with it and whatever. So I would rather something that a little bit than people that the moment they got into building houses, they burying their parents in a mansion while an old lady cannot even, or pregnant woman cannot even get a 15 medication in a hospital. Okay, children are just sitting on the floor to go to school in a classroom and everything. You leave those one in, and like Mr. Jensen said, and heal them, or Francis said, and then you go after someone that that his yes, maybe his action was it's something I can that fix you can fix, right? The government can always, because that money was used for another purpose, they can always replace that money to something. You chose to run after that because of political gain, then you going and prosecuting this person that stole from all of these poor and innocent Liberians. So yeah, they did this. If the day we stop, Nelson, the day we stop looking at people, stop knowing people. Oh, I know this person. Or people start picking up their phones and be like, oh, that person is my person and something. Then we will be doing good for our country. That's when we'll be fighting corruption. Like Anthony said, here I don't care who you are. You can be Joe Biden, son, driving down the street. If the cops pull you over because you are drunk, you're going to jail. You will get bailed out, not because Joe Biden picking up the phone to call and say, oh, that's my son, or because they knowing, oh, like, my son, oh, yeah, let him go. No, it's not happening. So the day we get to that level, and then even instead of stop hailing these corrupt officials that they don't call them kosu zogos, the moment we stop hailing them and singing behind them, their pape, their general, their this, they will stop. They will stop and stop electing them into offices. They will stop. The people tell you, so, oh, this person is corrupt, they're unsanctioned and something, and you go and say the money they stole from you, they come and whistle on you, and then you go, you vote for them. You singing. What are you gonna get from these people when they get in there? You think they will continue to fight for you, or they will continue what they started? Because they know when they take it, they give you a little crumbs, you are happy with it. So it's it's real. It's not that easy, Nelson. We don't. I mean, we have the laws according to people, isn't it? But are they implementing the laws? No, they're not. That's the only because I don't think it's a lack of laws. Like we don't have laws or whatever. No, I don't think so. Because some things I can be like, isn't that wrong? And it's yes, they're against the law, but why is it happening? Because of Liberia. That's sad.
Wow.
That was it.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thanks a lot, Amy. Thanks.
So it means point that money that Bernie Sanders, the CDC government paid $450,000 towards Bernie Sanders case. So yeah, there was an agreement. Then President-elect George Manuel Weah and President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, along with Bernie Sanders, had a closed-door meeting where they have agreed in the recast budget that they were going to pay for that money, and the CDC government went and paid $450,000 of that money.
You see there.
Okay, so with that, I'd like us to go to the lines. There are some updates on the Councillor Mususka case, but we'll dive more into that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, Mayor Jefferson Koji allegedly threatened one of the defense lawyers today, Councillor Kuku Dober. I think some of you here may know her, right? She was
What he said?
a lawmaker in District 4, Montreal County. Let me just play a portion of that video.
Yeah. Because I want
Because the court on the record, the court allowed me to put a report. It's unprecedented for a witness to come and make submissions on records of court. The court allowed me under the auspices of Judge Whitney. Allowed me, and he said, the attorney said that the water bottle touched his skin. And just in case anything happens to him, the defense counsel in presence of Amara Sheriff should be held responsible. While making that exception, I looked at Councilor Sheriff was saying something there. There's a coaching kept looking at me. Before that, when we are on the direct, I was also whispering to Councilor some questions to ask the coaching. Because when you are on the direct, only one lawyer is supposed to talk. So, because I kept giving Councilor Sheriff questions to ask the coaching, based on that how long when I left, I sat down and was facing me, he kept looking at me with his eyes. Eyes contact is another way of communication. Then I did my hand, why are you looking at me yesterday? Why are you looking at me? Then he said, then he did it again. And I take that as a major threat. You know, and what baffles me, after that, I raised my hand to bring his threat to the attention of the presiding judge. He never gave me the opportunity but to say in open court that I'm disturbing while my life have been threatened by a witness. Who cannot understand? Then there's a murder case that people like my counsel and we even lawyers representing the defense counsel, our life
nation, we have decided to offer the pro bono services to Justice Scott and her family. We know our lives have been threatened. So for the judge not to protect me, later on that submission was made by one of my colleagues closely. And I think it is good that he raised that issue, and that issue was brought to the court attention in another form and manner. But this is what I have to say. I consider Kukuwatu all my life is in the hands of God. When I told God to become a lawyer, I told God to do the right thing. I will not be threatened by Major Koti. You know, God not sleeping. And that is the reason why the CDC led government have lost this election, because they are there to threaten the lives of people. And I'm not taking them for granted. I'm going to do an official communication to the county and to the across the county that my life has been threatened by Major Jefferson Kuchu.
So what's the plan? Why are you blowing this?
I'm blowing it out of proportion because Major Koti is not an ordinary person. If he was an ordinary person today, we wouldn't have had U.S. sanction on him based on his role in corruption, based on the human rights violation. This is the person that is on sanction by the U.S. And this is the person that we want to take a step as a minor theft. It's not a minor theft, it's a major theft. And that's why he's on sanction, and that is the reason why I'm going to do an official communication to the county attorney that a sanction, a person that has been sanctioned by the U.S. government has threatened me in court and threatened my life, and to say I will see.
So you also raised the issue about the judge not initially.
Wow.
So that's Councillor Kukuwa Dobert, one of the defense counsel, one of the lawyers of Councillor Gloria Musu Scott. Courtesy that video. Let me give credit to Martelin Wah. Yes, and that's a page that I got it from. But yes, this is a very important issue right here. A lot of you watched the previous video we played when Mayor Koji left the courthouse and talking about his respect for rule of law and everything, and then he submitted himself today because he respects the law and he will be a respecter of the law. He will continue to be. But on the flip side, we are getting from Councillor Kukuwa Dober here that her life has been threatened, and the issue raised here is, I don't know how others may analyze it or what have you, but she's saying that he looked at her, he kept intimidating her with a certain look, because she kept whispering questions that, and he further indicted himself or what have you. But then at some point, she, like, in the body language, like, why are you? And then he said to her, USC. So USC is anyway. But folks, we have to go to the lines. Unless maybe you guys want to take
You
1
want me to do
minute.
my question or keep going? Let me just start, man. Nothing. Just 1 minute.
Why would you put that out there, Nelson?
1 minute.
Yes.
Nothing, just 1 minute.
Okay. So let's start with Ami this time around. Let's start with Ami.
Okay, no problem. I will still go.
Yeah. But no, but now see that is a form of intimidation. Your eyes can speak to someone.
He just looked.
Maybe,
That was just a look.
It depends how you're looking. If you just look and stare, but you just be staring, constantly staring at someone, like you staring down at someone and they feel uncomfortable and you start doing it and they ask you, well, what is the problem? I mean, if you were just looking, you would turn away, right? But you talking about, oh, you will see. No, you don't do that. That's not a good way to something, and that's the person who's the respecter of law. You know what? I am so glad. God, thank you, Lord, that this government is out, because I don't know why they are giving this boy so much power like this, being a mayor, thinking that he's the leader of the death squad, and he thinking something he has got in trouble with it, and still he's still still going at it. Maybe he think he can intimidate the lawyers and stuff for them to be able to slow down on him and say, but I like her spirit. She said, I will not be intimidated. Good for you. He can't do you anything because he know you know he's a killer. That's why he's doing that. But don't bow down to him, and I give her credit for that. Let Josh get out of here.
Josh said she had no right making any gesture to a person on the stand.
He has no right threatening her as well. He could
okay. So now let's hear from you quickly, Moba. Let's hear from
next thing you see, that's the reason why, like when I wake up in the morning, I feel that there's new Liberia. Based on our, not to be frank, based on our sanction, the sanction people like Javonsi Koji. You know, look, God forbid. I know my brother Anthony now was supporting CDC because they wanted CDC to get back in power. But God forbid, if CDC could go back in power, you know what coming happen? You know what coming happen? See, the people all the power, but Javonsi Koji say threatening people, telling people, say, you will see. To tell you that boy, he ain't care for anything. No, my man, as far as concerned, no general I know that supporting CDC. As far as
you say who supporting CDC?
Journalists. Who? What you say? I know you say.
I said my neutrality I support to CDC. That's what I said.
Yeah, you're supporting CDC. You enjoy your one for CDC to win. So that we know that we'll get you on record.
Because if you say something I agree on, I support CDC. That's fine.
But then, look, Nelson, end of the day, right? We just tell God thank you. And I want to ask Nelson, when the judge someone, what a guy named Vanity, he was in court today. We just yesterday because it's on your side yesterday. Was he in court? Oh, Nelson freeze. So, and I just want to know because he not saying in law abiding, right? In law abiding person. When the judge summon him or to bring the living body of Vanity, did he bring the living body of Vanity to the court? I don't think so. I think anybody watch our video.
Let's go to Francis. We were just speaking on the
but you can't call me on that. No, you ain't call me on that, man. Don't let me conclude. Yeah, but then end of the day, I will soon be leaving. But at the end of the day, we all, like I can say, right, we all happy because our security was under threat under this identical regime, George Weah Manning regime. No matter how sedition take it or leave it, George can go or he can't down. That's the fact. On George Weah government, there was no law and order. Everything, so long as CDC you pass, you opposition, you talk against them, you fail, and your failing could lead to death or beating massively without investigation. And that's the same reason why he in court threatening a whole judge and other the judge that in a court. She can't even, I don't know that she or that he, they can't even talk on that identical matter. And it dismiss that identical matter. It is, like our justice system gotta be independent, man. I submit our justice gotta be independent. Who knows?
Go ahead, Francis.
You muted, man. You muted.
Oh, thanks.
Start over.
yeah. It's just speak to the honestness of what's been going on in the Georgia government. So there'll be like a shock to the Liberian people, to our system when hopefully the GMB government comes in and like really enforce the rule of law. Because folks like Koji and stuff, and their followers and people like them, they just think they can do whatever and get away with it. But they'll be shocked when they see themselves caught or maybe investigated, real serious investigation going on where they are defendants saying they're fighting for their freedom and to prove that they're innocent. That's when they will know that, oh, dang, it's really different now, So, yeah, we can see that build a dead horse all we want, but the change is coming and they will be shocked. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, as for me, well, I look at, I wanted to talk to my brother Mobile Boy. Is he here? I can see him because he was talking about just. I think he was just talking about sanction. the mayor of Monrovia. I don't think it's just sanctioned. His is different from the other people that was sanctioned. His is on war crime list because he had committed something that is that he can be in a country, even in Sierra Leone. You understand human rights abuse. So then it is not wrong. The guy said it today in his interview. He said he was self-read by himself, but it doesn't give him the right to be that. He said he was very small. He lose his parents, so you have been into that life. He said, according to him, he said he lived a life of violence. So he been living through that violent life. So this is why you feel that it's not that people. My sister, I mean, it's not that people gave him so much power. No, they just gave him the power to be the city mayor, to take care of Monrovia, to manage Monrovia, the city. That is why they gave him. And they told him to.
That's why.
So now he because he don't know what his performance should be like, the metrics to that job. So he started to do all kind of things, organizing army and to kill other people. So you feel that he's the gang leader of Monrovia. That's why he did. That's why the road that he had taken. He had taken himself to be the gang leader, and he able to control army in Monrovia. So this is why he started to behave that way. Let me tell you something today. There are two means in which people can communicate. We communicate through verbal communication and non-verbal. You understand? So the way that he communicated to that lady or that lawyer, it was non-verbal, intimidating her. She understood why a man, the intimidation. This is why she is able to verbally say it. She was trying to call it just pathetic to understand that the judge did not give her the attention. So, but I will tell you the reason why. Because the government is still in power. I believe that judge will change her stand tomorrow when the incoming government come into a seat. So when you see Mr. Koji and he performing like that, that is who he is. That is why more people now they are waiting for the election to be coming, for the inauguration to be over before somebody can go Maria. Because the Lord, that guy stay over there, forget it. That guy stay harassing and still performing.
And yeah, well, all that excuse about him being self-read and something. A lot of people were self-read. A lot of people lose their parents.
I'm self-read too.
Exactly. They're not jumping in the street acting like
knuckleheads
and stuff. He had a good opportunity. You are self-read. You came out nothing, and you came out in a government. They gave you a good position that you're supposed to represent yourself, and this is what you did. Go ahead, Anthony. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, being self-read is look. Some of them were very young. I was 11 years old. I left my family. I would never keep out. I always said this. But I wanted to experience life on my own, try to, in the refugee camp, I have my own room and things like that. I only used to go to my own place to eat. And onto that, I learned how to cut hair, open a barber shop. And then I started exploring life. So on, and I came to America all by myself. So, listen, God first. But I can say this. I'm self-read. So... being self-read does not mean you should be violent, right? I have all the opportunities, to have chosen, to do drugs in the streets and other different things, and I chose not to do those things. So I mean, self-readness is not a
it's not an excuse.
It's not a condemnation to any person, right? But yes, what Koji does not understand, and many people don't know. I always said, if the mayoral position in Liberia was an elected position, I would have debated my political career as a city mayor. That's a very prestigious position. You are the chief executive of the city. By virtue of your position, you are above the president in the city. You are the chief executive of that city of Monrovia. Your position supersedes George Weah. George Weah is just the president of Liberia. But in that city, you're the king, right? But that does not mean you should go around, threatening people's lives and all of that stuff. It's just very prestigious. He doesn't know. The former chief of staff of Obama, Raul Menua, in Chicago, resigned his position just to run for city mayor in the city of Chicago. That's how prestigious that position is.
Of course.
Right? But many people don't know being a city mayor what it means. Right?
Jefferson doesn't know.
A lot of
okay, guys. Am I here? Am I okay?
So you here, bro? Anthony on the floor.
So Anthony got to conclude. I was going to leave you guys.
On the aspect of the non-verbal communication that Mr. Jensen spoke about, yes, he did communicate to her non-verbally. He stared at her. I know she said she kept looking, but the clear word there is staring, right? He stared at her, which is a concern because normally, as a human being, when you and somebody have a quick eye contact, the next thing that happens, you sway it away, right? You look somewhere
Yeah.
else. Yeah, that's just normal, nature, right? You and somebody bottle eye to eye, the next thing you smile, you look somewhere else. You don't keep staring at them, right? When you do that, they get concerned. They ask you, you need something, do you need help, and something like that. So the way in which he stare out, but these things are not uncommon. I follow a lot of legal cases here. I'm passionate in watching legal cases, and yeah, you find the prosecutor and a defense lawyer, client, or the defense lawyer towards the star witnesses. Those things happen all the time. There are always rifts between these people. Sometimes the prosecutor will feel as though the defense lawyer be so personal with a kind of line of questioning to their client, and they'll say objection, things of that nature, and all of that stuff. And vice versa, the prosecutor will say objection to the kind of line of questioning that you give in their client. So these things happen. So it is not. I'm sorry, my brother George, when you wrote down that, I don't think I agree with that.
I thought you got me agree with any man like twins, brother.
No, man, come on, man.
Yeah, brother, come on,
I'm
man.
an independent mind, my man. Come on,
All right, man, wrap up.
So
Thank you, guys.
we gotta
Thank
be
you, guys.
careful as to how we say things to people, and legal stuff. Is very. I'm not a legal practitioner. Don't claim to be one. I just have passion for it. I like the feel and always watch legal proceedings.
Thank you. Everybody everybody waiting their thoughts, right?
Can I do my closing before I leave? Or there
Yeah, let's go to the line.
I mean, no closing, man. Mobile, we're going to the line, but we ain't get time for black sweater, man. I can't say you want to do closing. They come
I
out.
gotta go to work,
Going
man.
to the line.
I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work right now.
Okay, you're close from work, but let's take our callers. Let's take our audience.
Anyway, I'll be following the show. Anyway, I'm watching the show.
Yeah, certainly.
I would join you. I will join you in 15 minutes if you stay on.
Okay, so
George,
let's
brother.
let's put the numbers up. Folks, you can call via the WhatsApp now and make your contribution. Yes, sorry, I get technical issues, so you will not see my face. Ami is in charge right now. And Madam Moderator, Your Honor, can I take some calls?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's take a few calls now. You can put in your call via the WhatsApp and make your contribution now. So let's take our first call here. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Nelson, how you doing?
I'm okay. Go ahead, sir. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Rushford Collison, and I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. I want to say a beautiful thank you to all your wonderful panelists. I have one thing to say, and I would say that to all the guys who have identified the ills of Koji in our society, I want you to know that even the devil got a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Even the devil has a friend.
Absolutely.
So don't be surprised when you have people propagating Koji and his behavior.
Okay.
If nothing that we know, Koji's last statement was a self-indictment of the human rights abuses he has conducted in the country. No leader in this modern time will be talking about blood and sweat in the street. But if that is not enough for the supporter of Koji to know that he has indicted himself for human rights abuses, then let the devil keep on building his friendship.
Thank you. Thank you,
What I
sir.
have to say to your panelists.
Thank you, sir. Let's take Hans Johnson. Hans Johnson. Welcome to the show, Officer Hans Johnson.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yes, sir. It's good to have you. Let's hear you.
Yes. Jefferson Clogy seems to be talking.
No, it's Koji, not Clogy. It's Koji.
So you won't correct me now? Okay, I will respect that. Is that Koji or Kloji?
Yeah, no, Koji.
Koji. Okay. All right. So I think this, I will call him Kid because he had relinquished his mayorship by bringing himself down to the lowest level of human dignity. So this guy is think he's above the law. When the United States, his sanction, somebody said earlier, his sanction is different from the regular people's sanction. Those other people own economic and other things. This guy is on the United States Treasury. The Treasury oversees a lot when it comes to international stuff with the United States. So this guy is in deep trouble. And he's taking this for fun. The minute this new government takes over, right? All evidence that the Treasury fund against Kloji can be brought to court. Kloji can be charged and sentenced.
Thank you.
For a long time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You done with your point, right? Okay, so let's take Josh. Josh is trying to call in. You are live, Josh. Go ahead. Let's hear you quickly.
You're trending.
Yeah, Nelson, can you hear me?
You are live. Go ahead, Josh.
Thank you so much. Look, I've been listening to the show and I had a meeting, so I couldn't just jump on. And today, as you were...
What happened to George's phone?
Thank God.
How about I say his phone?
Like every person putting behind them.
Yeah.
I first want to start. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I want to start with is the most recent one with the lawyer who complained about Koji. Look, we have to be fair to everyone, even if...
Trying to make a point, I can't hear you.
Direct call. You don't place direct call to this. Go ahead.
How did she know that Koji was staring at her if she wasn't staring at him?
Look at this dude.
So she should stop making a lousy noise about that. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, you can know somebody is staring at you.
You can know someone's staring at you. What's wrong with this dude?
Guys, can you mute? Can you unmute? Let's have our caller on the line. Josh is a caller tonight. Josh, please conclude, caller.
Yeah, thank you. Look, I just wanted to tell the listeners that, look, Russia imposed sanctions on America, on American officials, including the President of the United States of America. Did that sanction hurt them? Let's listen to people when they say what they want to say and look at it, because that's what education is about. That means you can look at things from different angles. America has sanctions from Russia. Do the Americans cry about the sanction? Do the American official who has sanctioned for going to Russia, do they cry? No, they don't cry. So people just need to open their minds to when people say things, they should not just consider it because they want to consider it. It's not like that. So sanctions, especially those who impose on people for visa sanctions, they don't hurt anyone, because guess what? You don't have the right to go to America. It's a privilege. If that privilege is taken away, it's not your right that has been taken away.
Thank you.
So it doesn't hurt you anyway.
Thank you, Josh.
That's what I want to say.
Thanks
you so
a lot.
much.
Thanks a lot. We'll take 3 more calls and then we wrap up. Let's see if we can take this person. No, we lost this person. Okay, so but please don't place a direct call to the number. Please just call using WhatsApp. Why we put there WhatsApp only, so that only WhatsApp you can call on. Don't place a direct call to that number, because I already get my technical situation here, and then I'm trying to handle my situation all by myself. So let's take this person here trying to come in. Hello, you're live on the show.
Yes, Nelson, how you doing?
Yes, I'm okay. It's good to have you on.
Good. You know, George just said something that if I'm close to him, I'm going to slap him.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Please say your name first and where you joining us from.
You too. My name is Teresa.
Okay.
I'm calling from Ohio.
Okay, let's hear you.
You know, yeah, George said something that made absolutely no sense. Sanction has implications. Sanctions have consequences. especially if you're a senator or representatives, do you know what it means to have sanction on you? It means that nobody will do business with you. Even if investors come to that country, they will look at, if they want to do business with somebody, you will not even be on the list. They will not even check your name off. They would better rather go to somewhere else to go invest. Implying to your people, you're bringing suffering to your people because of your character and what you have done. Trust me, nobody wants to do business with you and your people that you're representing. So that's why George don't know. Let you go read more about sanctions.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
But JMB would disagree with you. JMB doing business with Prince Johnson. I'm just saying.
Anthony, you
want to talk about international folks.
Hello.
You only Anthony on pressure class. We'll do it. Don't worry.
So Anthony wants to end the showing violence with the EP guys. I think we'll hold it at that and just try to do our closing because yeah, things are not normal from my end. So let's start the closing with Dr. Kelvin. Dr. Kelvin, you want to close up in 1 minute?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Colette, and fellow panelists, and those in viewing land. Thank you for participating on the show. And I want to say that we thank God that this was a good show today, and we were able to discuss issues pertaining to our country and on the issue of corruption and the organization that tried to highlight on the case of corruption in our country. So I would like to say that we're highlighting this issue so we can be able to build a new society, a society that will be gearing towards corrupt-free society. So when we discuss this issue, it's not for to come merely say, we just want to take ourselves to be here for all to be heard, but we want for the incoming administration to implement most of these things that we are talking about because it is important to our society. If we want growth, if we want our people to be transformed, our mothers, baby mothers, people that are sleeping in hospitals, whether they are in they give birth, but they are sleeping in place because they don't have money to pay. Some people want to go to school, they don't have money to pay to go to school, and somebody that our mother that is there, a husband going to work and they can be paid, and policemen that are taking the pay for 4 months, teachers. So these are the things that we are trying to see. We are trying to talk up against because this is what it comes from somewhere. It comes from corruption. This is what we are discussing on this show tonight. So we thank you. We thank you for listening, and we give thanks to all fellow panelists and to the Spoon Network and Mr. Kula Assembly. Mr. Kula Assembly.
Francis, go ahead.
All right, yeah, I'll go. I mean, you see, sometimes while there's no judge, I think judge belongs in a group home. The man ain't got sense. There's judge with him, and he ain't got no sense.
Mama, be respectful.
No, Francis, you gotta take it easy.
Look at the comment section. The man said, read the comment section, Anthony. He said, Francis told he's not normal. But I think judge belongs in a group home because how you gonna compare Russia sanctioning the United States with U.S. sanctioning individuals in Liberia?
My brother, you took the word out of my mouth.
A U.S. citizen doesn't even have to leave the U.S., but he or she can experience every culture around the world. You sit in Liberia. If you cannot travel to the U.S. or allied countries of the U.S. that would not want to do business with you, the healthcare system sucks in Liberia. If you gotta receive healthcare, where will you go for the most part? You know, there are so many factors that come into play. So when I hear that Georgia come on here, want to compare the U.S. and Russia sanctions with Donald Trump having a girl, I think he needed medication. But you know, yeah, people forget that the elections are over. So I always preach we need to come together as one people. Now that elections are over, and keep a close eye and be whistleblower on the Barker administration. Because whether good or bad, it affects all Liberians. Now, Unity Party will not enjoy. Some of you that are seditious, since 2017, you can even admit that you're still struggling, even though we have been 47 condominiums, Jefferson County enriched himself, or all other people, Simon, Tua, and Atama, all of them. But you still struggling, you can't pay a children's school fee. Even the free education, your children. So I was in Liberia, January of 2022. There are still kids not going to school because their parents can't afford for them to go to school because they have to go help themselves in the market to generate more funds to feed themselves. You know? So we all need to pay attention and focus on Jesus Program and call him out for every single mishap. When the next election comes, then we can go back in our Vera camps and push for our agenda. Don't listen to me like Georgia. He makes it mad. I may be in Courtroom. Thank you.
Unlike friends and George, unlike friends and George, I think this we gotta elevate the conversation on this platform. We got to, Michelle Obama says when they go low, we go high, kind of thing. We need to make sure that this is on the radio. If you're on this platform, you're on the radio. You should be mindful of our utterances when we're on the radio because radio is more powerful, especially in a country like Liberia that is so remote. The power behind the radio, people underestimate that, and so we gotta be careful. But on the issue of corruption, what does corruption do? I think a guy from Kenya or Nigeria, one of these leaders, spoke about corruption and what it does. When a regular road or a Zogo goes steal for you, they're only stealing that cell phone or the money that you have in your pocket. When a politician is corrupt, they are stealing
your future,
your children's future, your children's children's future. That's what it's stealing from you, right? Look at the southeastern region. No road. My mother had to go to Tapeta Hospital, and she's in her 70s. She had to sit on the bike. Not just bike, but the road is muddy. You understand? I try to find a car. My mom said, "You're wasting your time, my son." I cannot find. First of all, even when we get a car, the car can't make it on this road. I said, "I'll pay for the car." My mom said, "My son, it will not work. The car can't go on this road. We have to be on the motorbike." People sit on the motorbike from Zweju all the way to Ganta. Corrupt folks. That's why corruption. And these same folks will travel abroad. Forget about going too far. Right next to the Ivory Coast, a country where I grew up. Right? Well developed. African Cup of Nations coming. See what is happening in the country? 8 brand new stadiums. 8 of them.
Wow.
Brand new stadiums. 8 of them across the country. Brand new. And we don't have hospitals with necessary equipment, let alone drugs. The amount of people that die on a daily basis, if we were counting them, Liberia, it's by the mercy of God people are living in Liberia.
Absolutely.
By the mercy of God. Factor this telling nonsense in the country. So the corruption with our lawmaker putting 30,000 in the budget. This gone budget, 306 million was in the national budget. For the same 30,000, they receive it. Some people say, "Oh, they receive it," but it's called different name. No longer legislative engagement. The packages something away, and $306 million was in this gone budget.
In closing,
Why should we
Anthony,
pay for a lawmaker car? Pay for gasoline, scratch car. Their houses that they already built before they begin lawmaker, we paying for them. Why? A small country where the president's salary is more than Joe Biden's salary. The speaker Buffer Chima's salary is more than Nancy Pelosi or the current speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States. What are we doing? And they will come here and come beg the people.
Exactly.
Russia sanctioned the date. It was political. They said they want to sanction and get to put on paper. But it does not affect America. America feed Russia with food. America feed almost every country in the world except for China. Even the Great India, America can send food there. That's the power of the United States of America, if you don't know. Only China, America can send food to. America can send food to India. Do your research. Don't come to me. Google it. So, if Russia sanction America, it's political. They want to have that thing. But America sanction on Russia, it affected economically, socially. The security stuff also is impacted. You understand? So Russia can do with America.
Thank you,
America. And so I just want to say thank you for having me. It's been a while since I've been on. And we'll also be brief for Grand Judah because Madison Green is somebody that I campaigned for vigorously. I was leading the communication team for his campaign both time, and for him to, lose his life this short, did not get to, explore all of the vision that he had. It has been devastating. So I have not even been on live since the whole episode. This is my first time. And so hopefully, we pray for consoling to the family and pray that, God will give them comfort and give them the strength to go through this process. But our county is bereaved, and he was one of the promising lawmakers out of Grand Judah County.
Thank you, Anthony. Well, Nelson, you there?
Okay, yes, certainly. So I think you're done, right?
No.
You want to just do your closing in a minute?
I just want to make sure you are still there. So yeah, guys, we're oh Jesus!
Those things that geopolitical things. So it's like America.
We're done. The election is over, but some people are still running around here doing kakalekale. We're still in election period. Get over it. Someone else has already won the election. Your guy lost. It's okay. People win and people lose.
That's the reason why I said some of us should not talk, right? So, got 1%.
So it's for people to be coming around when you're talking about something that Francis said, instead of us coming together and talking for our country, fighting for Liberia now. Everything has to be political because my people hands are getting caught in a cookie jar. So the other person's hands were in the cookie jar. Why the other person doing business? You were president for 6 years. If you feel that you had any evil person in the country, why didn't you prosecute them? Why didn't you order them? Why didn't you do all of these things?
But I think that UP2 brought the country impunity for 12 years to they prosecute people.
You interrupting me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah, UP is a party. It's not a person. What Ellen Johnson decided to do is not Joseph Boaga. Wasn't Joseph Boaga vision. Joseph Boaga has his own vision. If Ellen Johnson said he decided not to audit, it doesn't mean Joseph Boaga should not audit. Those are two separate people. It's a party. It's not a person. The UP, the same way how you got a Democrat and a Republicans here. You can get another person with another vision, and you get another person with another vision from the same party. So that excuse is false, Anthony. Let's not even go that way. Like I said, the election is over. People coming here talking about sanction means nothing. You compare America and Russia sanction. It's very, very funny. Liberia to a local boy named Kochi in Liberia to America. What does America really need from Russia? That America should be worried and be like, oh my God, Russia has something to me. From bringing racism, people putting people in prison falsely, comparing that today, you know, run off that one, now you're going to Russia and so. If you're fooling those people in Liberia, you better stop. You better stop. Because sanction is a big deal. I don't know why you coming up here talking about, oh, it's not this, it's not that. It is a big deal. And it's not just sanction. You will be prosecuted. What are you talking about? You think it was just put sanction and it's all sanction, that's it? Your government will prosecute you. JMB will order for whatever it is that the U.S. had. They will do that investigation. And if you get caught in it. If everything is something, you're gonna get prosecuted. So it's not just, it doesn't just stop there and they say, oh, you want sanctions, so sit down and enjoy all the stolen money in Liberia. So you must be mistaken to be saying stuff like coming here talking things tabata all over, insulting people that they don't make sense, they're not normal and all of that. You the normal person. Stop lying to our people. My Liberian people, these people have stolen from us. Not because we're sitting here in America. Yeah, we understand, we feel everything that goes on in our country. Don't let anybody come on here and lie to you. Sanction is a big deal. I keep telling you, you yourself, you're living in it. I know a lot of people, a lot of you don't know any better. You think it's okay for one man and his own family to be enjoying because you're in the same party with him. So it's okay. You hailing him while you're chasing his car. Stop that. Hold these people accountable. Stop voting for these people. And let's change our country for the better. You heard Brother Anthony sitting here talking about Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is right next door to you. It's not far from you. If I'm not mistaken, we are all the same. But they're just thinking differently for that country than we are. And that is sad because we are the oldest country in the region or in Africa. And look at us. We need to stop this and stop listening to these people that are benefiting personally from these people. So they're all in that loyalty, blind loyalty or something. Stop listening to them and look at your country and wish God for your country and do the best thing and stop electing these people. And let's move Liberia forward. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I mean, let me say thanks to you, Francis. Thank you, brother, for being here tonight. Dr. Kelvin, I appreciate you a whole lot. Thank you for being here. Brother Anthony, it's been a while. We appreciate you for.
Thank you for not putting me in the back today.
Nah, man, nah. You know, once the show is going well, no need for anybody to go in the back. But when things start to go out of hand now, then.
Nancy?
Yeah.
Can I please say something?
Oh. They say when the women start shaking their head at that Francis. Then I request a coming Mego.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. It's okay.
Okay, you want to say? No, you want to say something? Go ahead quickly.
No, it's not worth it. That's fine. Let's go. I wanted to answer someone in this comment section, but it's not worth it.
No, forget the people in the comment section. The people having a show, they are big.
It's not worth it. Yeah, the people you can be fighting for are the ones that can be fighting you. So it's useless.
So
that's how backward our people are. But yeah,
we look forward to having a great show tomorrow again, man. Thanks to everyone, and we'll be here earlier tomorrow. So we finish sooner. Like today, we're finishing early today, and tomorrow hopefully we'll finish earlier. I see Francis is smiling because he wants to go and catch some sleep. Thanks a lot, man, guys. Let's have a good night.
All right, man. Take care.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Right.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band.